Start your show now, press 1.
Your show is scheduled to start in 27 seconds. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.
Testing 1 2, y'all. Testing 1 2. Yeah. There it is. There it is. All right, we're here. I hear myself. We're good. Hey, folks, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. There it goes. It's gone. All right. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the show, guys. Facebook, YouTube. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you. Thank you for tuning into the show tonight. Tonight, phone line is TB Tuesdays. On TB Tuesdays, we do have phone lines open. Let me put the phone number up on the screen. That's 319-527-6212. So I see I got a caller already in the queue. I'm already writing down the numbers because I want people to be able to get in where they fit in. So I got a couple of callers already lined up. All right, so call in now to get in the queue so that you can speak truth to power, whatever's on your mind, right? Wow. Man, I am exhausted. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Emotionally, I'm kind of spent. It's a lot. It's a lot, people. I'm trying to tell you. And I've been going back and forth in my head and developing my arguments for tonight and for additional nights. We got so much going on. I want to, just in case I forget, because you know I'm prone to do that, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be having a conversation with none other than rapper extraordinaire, producer, activist, man of the people, Killer Mike, a.k.a. Killer Mike. Mike Render will be on the show, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so be here for that. Yes, I'm looking forward to that conversation. Yeah, so we'll leave it there. Thursday, I got a show with Nina Turner. Yeah, Senator Nina Turner. I'll be on her show on Instagram on Thursday. So really busy, and very happy to be busy. I'm very fortunate to be busy, doing what I like to do, doing what's important to me, doing what's moving me, and what I think is my calling. So a shout out to Killer Mike and his people. Jennifer, thank you so much for making that happen. The whole crew, K-Love for making that happen, Senator Nina Turner, her people, Ajani, Ajani. I'm butchering names now. Thank you. Let me get out. Thank you. Okay, so while we getting prepped for that, I got some stuff for tonight, though, before we go to phone calls, because what I like to do if you're new to the show, this is a show you tune into because, well, let's just face it. A lot of times when you watch the news, you're more confused after you watch the news than you were before you watched the news because you don't know what to believe. Well, on the Tim Black Show, we give you news straight. We don't get paid to tell you anything. We tell you what we believe is true, and we keep it real. So become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack by going to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, and you'll get up-to-date information in the real deal. That's what we got going on. And to get that started, I like to hit a couple of topics that kind of keep me going. So, like, if you've been awake and you weren't in a coma, you know what's going on with the protests in various cities across the country. Now, some people would like to say it was sparked by George Floyd, and to some extent, I think it was. I think that was like the final thing. But, I mean, I was just getting over Breonna Taylor. Actually, I didn't even get over Breonna Taylor. You know, they just fired the police chief in Kentucky behind that Louisville. So I hadn't really dealt with Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery over there in Georgia when those men gunned him down. Or I hadn't dealt with Tatiana Harris, who got gunned down in her own house. Remember Tatiana Harris? We haven't even had time to process that one yet. Yeah? So all of these killings, and I mean, this was right on the heels of Botham Jean, where he was shot in his own damn house. I mean, we keep hearing these stories and these things keep happening, and everyone's like just tired of it. People are reacting in certain ways, and it's really playing out. And I think it's long overdue that people take to the streets. I mean, people were taken to the streets a couple of weeks ago just because they couldn't go to the hairdresser. Some people. And some people were taken to the streets because they thought they were losing their businesses. And some people were taken to the streets because they just want to get out the house and show off their gun. So there was a lot of reasons for people to take to the streets. And if a man getting snuffed out on TV isn't a good one, I don't know what is. So here we go. My first story, Joe Biden. Oh, man. Last night I covered how unpresidential Donald Trump was, a petty little orange geriatric baby, the infant senior himself, who was doing this showy thing of going to a church nearby and have to clear the streets for him to go to a church, hold a Bible, stand outside the church, and get a photo op. So we talked about how pointless it was and how it's not something that leadership does. Well, Joe Biden tried to one-up Donald Trump by giving a speech himself. Here goes a little bit of Joe Biden putting it down. Check it out.
A mourning where we find hope when we mourn. But it's going to take more than talk. We've had talk before. We've had protests before. We've got to now vow to make this at least an era of action and reverse the systemic racism with a long overdue concrete changes. The action will not be completed in the first 100 days of my presidency if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, or even in my entire term. It's going to take the work of a generation. But if this agenda will take time to complete, it should not wait for the first 100 days of my presidency to get started. A down payment on what is long overdue should come now, should come immediately. I call on the Congress to act this month on measures that will be the first step in this direction. Starting with real police reform, Congressman Jeffries has a bill to outlaw chokeholds. Congress should put it on the president's desk in the next few days. There are other measures to stop transferring weapons of war to police forces, improve oversight and accountability, to create a model use of force standard. That also should be made law this month. No more excuses, no delays. If Mitch McConnell can bring in the United States Senate to confirm Trump's unqualified judicial nominees who will run roughshod over our Constitution now, it's time to pass legislation that will give true meaning to our constitutional promise of equal protection under the law. Looking ahead in the first 100 days of my presidency, I've committed to creating a National Police Oversight Commission. I've long believed we need real community policing. We need each and every police department of the country to understand undertake a comprehensive review of their hiring, their training, their de-escalation. Some have already done it, some are in the process of doing it. The federal government should give the cities and states the tools and the resources they need to implement reforms. More police officers meet the higher standards of their profession. Most of them do it. All the more reason why bad cops should be dealt with severely and swiftly. We all need to take a hard look at the culture that allows for the senseless tragedies that keep happening. And we need to learn from the cities and the precincts that are getting it right. We know, though, in order to have true American justice, we need economic justice as well. Here, too, there's much to be done. As an immediate step, Congress should act now to rectify racial inequities that allow COVID-19 recovery funds to be diverted from where they live. I'll be setting forth my agenda on economic justice and opportunity in the weeks and months ahead, but it begins with health care. Health care should be a right, not a privilege. The quickest route to universal coverage in this country is to expand on Obamacare. We could do it, we should do it. But this president, even now, in the midst of a public health crisis with massive unemployment, wants to destroy it. He doesn't care how many millions of Americans will be hurt because he's consumed with this blinding ego when it comes to Barack Obama, President Obama.
Wow. Okay. All right. All righty then. Okay, sure. Okay, so I'll be the first one to say that Joe Biden he obviously did a better job than Trump. Yeah, he did a better job in addressing the crisis, the protests, and kind of trying to speak to the needs of the people. I mean, yeah, it's better than Trump. It is. And I still have my no Biden bumper button on, right? Still got the bumper on, right? Bumper. I got bumper stickers, y'all. Here's the thing. That ain't saying a whole lot. That's like saying, hey, Tim Black, you dance better than that guy over there who's asleep. You know? Well, yeah. Well, thanks. Or Tim Black, you tell better jokes than that guy who can't talk. Or Tim Black, you got a cleaner bald head than that guy with the dreads. I mean, these are obvious things. No one gets awarded for doing Trump and showing compassion. You know what I'm saying? Like that bar is too low. I mean, the bar, no one's even holding the bar. I mean, the bar is literally laying on the ground. All you got to do is walk over it. So that's not saying much. We're going to demand more from Joe Biden because, frankly, it sounded to me like Joe Biden, somebody was like, hey, Joe. And he was like, huh? And it was like, hey, read this. And he was like, you want me to read all this? All of it? Yeah, start with, can you say the word systemic racism? He was like, systemic racism. Yeah, because Joe Biden's been in politics all his life, and I don't think I've ever heard him say systemic racism before. He damn sure didn't say it when he was passing those drug laws. He damn sure didn't say systemic racism when he was crafting mass incarceration, when he was architecting it. But okay, fine, rookie mistake. We all got to grow up sometime. Got to give people room to grow, don't you? So listen to what Joe Biden's saying he wants to do. No chokeholds. He wants to, put an end on the chokehold. Great. Sounds great. Police oversight. A National Police Oversight Commission. Wow. All right. Hey, demilitarize the police. Wow, this is great. More focus on hiring and training and all this stuff. And bad cops need to be dealt with quickly and severely. And economic justice. Wow, economic justice This is amazing. Universal health care by expanding Obamacare. I mean, I hate the idea of expanding Obamacare because I think basically it's a bailout to the corporations, to the insurance companies, big pharmaceuticals, but at least expand it and cut the cost. And then while we try to get other stuff done, I mean, we already had a plan, Medicare for All, but I guess if you don't want the better plan, you can go with a lesser plan, considering we didn't win or you stole it from us or however you want to look at it. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It doesn't really matter what Joe Biden says if I don't have any confidence that the man will actually implement anything that he's saying. And I feel very strongly that Joe Biden is saying what Joe Biden needs to say. This is problematic. And yeah, I watched the clip of the night from Charlamagne the God on CNN with Anderson Cooper and David Axelrod, chief strategist for the Obama campaign. And I know very well these guys are very good at saying what needs to be said in order to get elected. Hence, David Axelrod working with Obama. So yeah, that's what Biden's doing. I mean, they know the deal. They know the script. They know how to... Obama was one of the best people at talking the talk, but never was interested in walking the walk. And then we got Joe Biden, and I don't have the confidence, man. I don't. And Charlamagne said, well, maybe if he takes a woman of color as his VP, and that to me is part of the problem. I mean, a woman of color as a VP don't matter if she's not the right woman of color. Not all people are the same just because of their color or their skin. You can still suck and be black. You can still be great and be white, and you can still be tall like this wall and play basketball. I mean, when we going to get it through our heads? And if you're going to use color, which I say you shouldn't, but if you got to say we need a black woman as a VP pick, please somebody tell me why y'all keep saying Stacey Abrams. Why we got to keep saying Stacey Abrams? There ain't no other black women around. Oh, I know one. I'm going on her show Thursday. Her name is Senator Nina Turner. She was in one of the most popular presidential campaigns in the last decade. She has a coalition of voters that's going to come out harder than any other VP pick you could possibly choose unless it was Bernie Sanders. Hell, Senator Nina Turner's favorability rating is higher than Bernie Sanders amongst the left. No one's ever accused Senator Nina Turner of selling out. I've never had to go back and forth with anyone about the validity of Nina Turner or what she stands for. It's pretty obvious. So Charlamagne the God, my brother, I'm asking you, man, they're bringing you on these shows, not me. And since they are bringing you on these shows and putting you on these platforms, you get to speak truth to power. Don't say Stacey Abrams no more. And please stop caping for Kamala Harris. For once in your life, brother, say Senator Nina Turner on one of these shows. That's how you help your boy Biden win. Oh, I know he's not your boy. You know what I'm saying? But if you want a Democrat to win, and you up there, you might as well put it in the consciousness of these jackasses. And the very reason why you want to say Nina Turner is because, as she stated, they don't want her. See, you want the person they don't want, because that's the person who's for us. When you want the person they might want, you're wanting the person that's easier to go along and get along with their agenda. And we need somebody to counterbalance Biden. We need somebody who's going to actually speak up on behalf of black folks, disenfranchised folks, poor folks, working folks. And I don't think there's anybody better suited for the job. And if we're going to throw a hat in the ring or name in the hat, it should be Senator Nina Turner. And I say that loud and clear on any platform I ever be on. So back to Joe Biden. Joe Biden looks presidential because he's up against Ronald McDonald. Yeah, man, standing next to Ronald McDonald, anybody look presidential. Look at his shoes. Who wears a apron for a tie? Or, what's up with the hair? And he goes a little heavy on the makeup too. Guy's a damn clown. But that doesn't mean he's inspiring confidence. And that doesn't mean he's going to energize a coalition to come out and vote for his ass come November. So, yeah, Joe Biden did a better job than Donald Trump. We need, America needs, no. The world needs Joe Biden to do a lot more than better than Donald Trump. Because that ain't going to beat Donald Trump. What only thing that can beat Donald Trump is actually being better than Donald Trump. All right. Send your hate mail to your mama's house at timblacktv.com. Now, all right. Phone number is 319-527-6212. I try to get through these others a little quicker just so we can get to phone lines. I know people got to talk. They're like, oh, I can't wait to talk. Lord have mercy. I'm very happy that YouTube is starting to share my videos with more people. It's been a long, long battle. Yeah. We were doing well, then we weren't doing well, so I really don't want to get any problems with anybody. I don't want no drama. But I got to say, Tucker Carlson is a bigot and a boot-licking bastard. And I'm tired of people always talking about stuff about Tucker only when they agree with him because they want to get viewership off the guy. I'm the opposite. I like pointing out when he's wrong. And he's wrong a lot. Like in this clip.
How many more nights like this can we take? How many more nights like this before no one in America will serve as a police officer? It's not worth it. The people in charge hate you. The job doesn't pay enough. At that point, who will enforce the laws? Who will be in charge? Well, violent young men with guns will be in charge. They will make the rules, including the rules in your neighborhood. They will do what they want. You will do what they say. No one will stop them. You will not want to live here when that happens. Chaos is the worst thing always, and wise leaders understand that. It's obvious.
Yeah, you heard right. Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, man. Fear. Fear, fear, fear. You fear-mongering, silver spoon boring up the ass, elitist. Always trying to talk like you're a friend of the working man. Man, you wouldn't know a working man if you stepped on him to get out of your high chair. You, Tucker Carlson, of, what is it, heir to the Swanson family jewels. Man, you ain't touched a stern wheel in the last 40 years. You ain't never needed for a damn thing in your entire life. He loves talking about how hard the regular people got it. Like he's the one thing between the regular people and justice or something. What is this guy? Now here he's talking about police and he says, with all these protests about police brutality, no one's going to want to be a policeman. Look, man, similar to what I said about Donald Trump. If the bar is, all you got to do is be better than Donald Trump, there is no bar. Well, if you're a police officer and the bar you have to do better than is Derek Chauvin and the other three killers who smothered the life out of George Floyd, that ain't big. That ain't a high bar either. That's what you call a low bar. The lowest of bars. It's not even a bar. It's a curb. I mean, to tell me, Tucker Carlson, you're complaining that police aren't going to want to be police because they can't choke a man in broad daylight while he's handcuffed for 10 minutes and kill him? Oh, my bad. What should we, allow? Where can we draw the line, Tucker? When is it safe to draw the line, Tux? Huh? I mean, you didn't draw the line when they blew Breonna Taylor away, shot her 6 times in her own house. You didn't draw the line when they shot Laquan McDonald 16 times. I mean, what does it take for you to draw the line on cops? When's enough enough? When's it okay, Tucker, for us to say, F that? I don't know, when they blow up a daycare? I don't know, when they start cooking babies live at the police union soiree, or whatever they got, at the police union get-togethers? They start barbecuing black folks? I mean, really, Tucker, when will it be enough? When is it fair to say, fuck the police? I mean, seriously, Tuck, what would it take? Oh, I know what it would take. It would take a couple of police to show up at your door and knock on it. You bitch. Tucker's puss, and we all know it. And I'm tired of people not saying it. But I love the fact you leave it for me to say. Hey, Tucker, no one No one is afraid of police or of people becoming their own policemen or whatever. That's not going to happen. You know, people. What may happen is, first of all, we got a lot of good old boys already being their own policemen. Hence, Ahmaud Arbery getting gunned down in the middle of the street. Hence, George Zimmerman shooting Trayvon Martin. See, we already have we've always had white guys playing cop. Hence, lynchings. Okay, Tux? So that idea is kind of bogus. Second of all, I think that you are worried about people coming around with guns. You kind of late to the dance. See, that's part of the problem that we have. It's not that we're afraid that people with guns or maniacs with guns are going to rule our neighborhoods. Maniacs with guns are already ruling our neighborhoods. They're called cops, motherfucker. See, you don't have that problem because you are part of the 1%. You have a lot of money living in your lofty home. But us, we've always been over-policed, targeted, racial profiled, beat up, bullied, got our asses kicked, lynched, and more. And you never understood it. You still don't understand it. It's because he doesn't want to understand it. So I love the fact that Tucker Carlson gives me these layups. These are not even foul shots you're giving me, Tux. You know, this isn't even a goal on shot, man. This is just me standing in front of the net, and all I have to do is lightly tap the ball to score. I appreciate you, Tuck, because you make it easy, busting your ass up. Thank you. Now, to those who have a problem with this segment, send your hate mail to Tucker's House at TimBlackTV.com. Just when I thought Tucker Carlson was as bad as it could possibly get, there could never be anyone as dumb as Tuck. You know, there'd be no one who would so obviously put their foot totally in their mouths. I mean, come on, a foot's pretty big. The average man's mouth is not that wide, not that deep. I can't imagine a man could put his whole foot in his mouth. I mean, Tucker at least stops at the end of his toes. But yeah, one such man exists. He's Los Angeles Police Chief Michelle Moore? I think it's pronounced Michael Moore, but it doesn't have an A in it. Folks, this guy wins the Dumb Down Darwin Award. Check this out.
How many more nights like this can we take?
I see a lot of white people.
We had people. So what that tells me is that two things. We didn't have protests last night. We had criminal acts. We didn't have people mourning the death of this man, George Floyd. We had people capitalizing. His death is on their hands, as much as it is those officers. And that is a strong statement. But I must say that this civil unrest that we're in the midst of, we must turn a corner from people who are involved in violence, people who are involved in preying upon others.
Yeah, I know. You're like, did I think I hear what I thought I heard? Did I hear what I thought I heard? Could that have been, damn, Tim Black, that can't be. It's impossible. Did that police chief just say that people who protested are just as responsible for the death of an innocent man in police custody as the people that killed him? Yeah, he said it, Johnson. He said that shit on live TV or whatever that was. He said that in front of the whole world. He said that with an interpreter and all doing the sign language. So that means even people without the gift of hearing were able to understand how fucking stupid this guy is. I mean, this is great. This is amazing. No, he's not stupid. He's bigoted. I mean, where else could this come from? What in the world? Where has it ever existed? The analogy that a person who does a thing later that you may not agree with is somehow comparable to the person who did the thing that caused all this shit to begin with. I mean, where in the world could you come with that type of analogy? And couple that with the fact that he's talking about the murder of a man in police custody who posed no threat at all to the police officers, who they heinously, brazenly, right on camera, smothered to death. He sent a couple of teenagers with some, I don't know, skates and skateboards who broke a couple of windows is somehow equivalent to murderous cops. They bear the same amount of responsibility for George Floyd's death. Man, what a crock of shit. This guy has been LA police chief since 2018. If LA has any sense at all, if there's any form of brain matter active there, this will be his last term. This should be his last week. In fact, I'm right, because there was a Zoom telethon with the LA commissioners or whatever. I saw this. And there was call after call after call of citizens in Los Angeles saying, get this guy the hell out of there. I mean, I would play some of the clips, but they were so harsh. I might get my channel shut down. There were people calling up saying, Michael Moore needs to go to hell. He can kiss my bleep, 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 bleep. Click. I mean, it was like 30 calls in a row. And all you do is see this guy sitting up there like in a square, just taking it. I mean, the people of LA don't want this guy. He makes everyone look bad. I tweeted this out. I said that, Michael Moore, he's not just a disgrace to the police uniform. He's a disgrace to all uniforms. That's how bad Michael Moore is. He is a disgrace to all uniforms. Nurse uniforms, maintenance worker uniforms, bellhop uniforms, any uniform, firefighter uniforms. In fact, all the people who wear uniforms on a daily basis to do their jobs are considering coming to work naked just so they won't be lumped in with this piece of garbage. I mean, this guy is horrible. No one wants to wear a uniform now because of this guy. Tucker, you just got through saying that people don't want to wear a uniform because they're going to be judged too stringently after the murder of George Floyd. I'd say some people aren't going to want to wear a uniform because of Michael Moore, LAPD police chief. And you know it. Come on, man. He's in LA. I know you would rather go in on this guy, but see, you bigoted bastard. You shot your load too early. Michael Moore is horrible. And the worst thing about Michael Moore is that he still has a job. Let's fix that. Now, the next couple of clips are more upstanding, more fun, more easygoing, I'd say. Because I've been trying to wrap my head around this, man. I've been trying to figure it out. I've been saying, I really want to support the people out there protesting, the people out there who are standing up, through the early 80s, I say mid 80s, mid to late 80s. I used to be out in the streets. We protest. I protested, what happened to Rodney King. I was at Million Man marches, and, we did our thing, but I always felt that we didn't do enough. So the last thing I want to do is tell young people now, stop what you're doing. You're inconveniencing people. But then when I hear people talk, and it sounds a little bit like they're more concerned with business property and respectability and civility, and not as concerned with the killing of people over and over and over again. And the system that just keeps eating us. Just more people go in the mouth and more people go out the back. More in the front, more out the back. And that's what just keeps happening. So while I'm going through this dilemma, and some of you may be going through it too, where you're trying to balance, well, you know what? I don't think we should back down, but I also don't think that you got to burn everything. I mean, like, we got to find a way to kind of find our way through it. But I don't want to take up for Target because I don't give a damn about Target. Well, I found a video that kind of says it in the best way so far. I want to share it with you. Check this out.
We had people. So what that tells me is
these are fucking people who live in public housing. can protest all you want, but the shit I just saw take place. I know there are people out here, homeless people, who fucking rely on those banks to charge their fucking phone. And you think it's okay to take down a neighborhood? You don't see corporations here. There are human beings that live in this goddamn neighborhood. You do this shit in Harlem, you do this shit in Brooklyn, and I swear on everything. These people in this neighborhood deserve better. And I'm not talking about the gentrification. I'm not talking about the fucking students who come here and pay cash to go to NYU. I am talking about the people who go to a methadone clinic down the goddamn street. And you fucking think this is a protest? I gave my fucking blood, sweat, and tears for this country. I served this country for 10 goddamn years. So when you think about this anger and this fucking rage, because there's a way to get answers. Every single last one of you better be fucking registered to vote. Yes, ma'am. Every single last one of you.
We are. Yeah.
So do me a favor, for every single person out here protesting, remember, there's 3 homeless men who rely on that as a charging station. And what? Will it even work now? For the sake of what? So you can go back home to your fucking comforts. Sit in your house and think that you did some fucking work today.
All right. So the young lady in that video, I'm not sure who she is. But she goes on to point out that there are people who live in this neighborhood, like these places that they're burning up, some of the places that they're destroying, some of the property that they're destroying are things that people need in order to survive day to day. So I noticed that, some people, it's not as cut as dry as people want to make it seem. They think it's just like retail establishments that are being looted, or there are people destroying just anything that they see. And some of those things are like bus shelters that people have to stand at. And if you're from out of town or you're from somewhere else in the burbs and you come out to protest and you just tear up that shit, when you leave and go home, other people got to live with that. So that ain't cool. And I noticed that there are people who don't care about that. These are real things that people have to really live with. So I think all of it matters. Like there's no one completely clean in this, right? Like the corporations are garbage who now want to pretend that they care, as if George Floyd was an aberration, as if he's something that's never happened, like we've never seen a policeman kill. I mean, they sat through Tamir Rice getting his head blown off, and they didn't write these posts. They sat through Breonna Taylor just, 2 weeks ago, and we didn't get this type of reaction from them. But all of a sudden, everyone's come to Christ. So no, I don't believe that these people give as much a damn as they say they do. But one of the things we have to consider while we're doing all of this is what we leave in our wake. We have the most vulnerable people, for instance, who live outdoors, or the most vulnerable people who depend on public utilities in order to survive. We're in the middle of a pandemic. So I say, I don't know, if we're going to do this, we're going to have to raise some money. If we're destroying what little bit that's there for people or whatever, we're going to have to pitch in. I mean, if you're from a well-to-do area, if you got money and you went out the last couple of days and you tore down some shit, well, maybe you should consider kicking some in, because believe it, it's going to take a long time for some of these businesses to come back. Most of them probably were already struggling to begin with. I mean, it's unprecedented what we're dealing with. So I just think people need to look at it a little bit more with nuance and just look at it one way, myself included. Like I stated, my thing is, I don't want to tell people to just go home. But we got to do something that's more constructive than just this and then go back and let the shit continue. So it can't continue forever to protest. So now what do? And that's the hard part because we got to figure that out. When people keep saying just vote, I don't know. Because we've been voting. And we got Biden. We've been voting. And we got Hillary. Get what I'm saying? So we've been voting. And when we talk about on the local level, in local elections, who do we end up getting? We end up getting the candidate more often than not. Like 90% of the time, the person with the most money. And who's typically the person with the most money? The person that sold out the most. And how do we even find out about candidates? We watch cable media that's owned by 6 corporations who have a vested interest in a certain side or a certain narrative. So people get screwed, even in local politics. How do you even know who's running locally if your local media is bought and paid for? If your cable media is bought and paid for. So to just say vote, that don't fix it either. Like I said, this runs so deep. I'm not saying it can't be fixed, but let's stop pretending that if people just go home and they just didn't bust a window, that all of a sudden it's just going to reform itself, because it ain't. I mean, people have been protesting for a long time. And there are people out there protesting a lot of other things. It's not just George Floyd. There are people out there protesting because of environmental issues. They're protesting because of water. They're protesting against the state in general. I mean, there are people who are angry for a lot of reasons. It's not just police brutality. And there's a lot of reasons that are also valid to be protested. Besides George Floyd, even though he's at the top of my list, police brutality is at the top of my list. Mass incarceration is at the top of my list. So, a comedian that I really enjoy, his name is Neal Brennan. And you may know Neal because he's a performing comedian. He's very successful. Recently, he gave a very impassioned, very funny, dialogue or bit he did about Dave Chappelle at the Mark Twain Awards. You may have saw that. And Neal Brennan also wrote the Chappelle Show with Dave Chappelle. You know Neal. You know Neal Brennan. Anyway, I found this on Instagram. It's great. And check this out, and then we'll go to phone calls. It's good.
These are fucking people who...
I see a lot of white people posting your stuff. What I would say is, save it with the posts and do it with your influence. There's a lot of people posting shit that I know don't really fuck with black people. You know how I know? Because I never see you around. I never see you around. You want to help black people? Hire them. Hire them, and if you work next to them or with them or a little bit above them, encourage them and support them. If you're in a position to change the color of your staff, you gotta do it. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. If you're a talk show host and you're doing woke monologues every night, your writer's room better have some fucking black faces in it. Because otherwise, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear how fucking woke you are. But meanwhile, we need to do more work with that. Go do the fucking work or shut up. If you have a talk show, hire black writers. And hire black producers, put black faces in every department. This goes for any company. I don't know, I assume I'm talking to like showbiz people, but this goes for any company. Hire black people. Fucking hire them. Help them. Promote them if they already work there. Give them room to grow. Put them in a position to have children, and for those children to be sent to good schools and then get good jobs and become jump from lower middle class to upper middle class, or help them. Make it so they don't have to be so freakily talented. That's the only way that they can get ahead. And this goes for any company. I see all these companies posting, we are now committed. We love the blacks. We're like MAGA. We love the blacks. Change your hiring policies. you're not doing enough. If you look at the economics of black life in America, chances are your company's not doing enough. Do more. And I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back, because like I said, I've made a million racial mistakes. A million. But I try, and I'm telling you that, and I still need to try more. If you feel guilty, that's fine. You can feel a little guilty, but don't feel so guilty or ashamed that you're paralyzed by it. Just think of it as like when you look in the mirror and you're like, ugh, getting a little. America, white people, we're getting a little. We've been a little. Ugh, what is that? We need to, change our, sorry to be so corny, but we need to change our racial habits because they're not good.
That was funny, man. But also well spoken, man, and on point. Yeah, because all I will say is that it's challenging. And you're right. To compete, you do have to be freakishly. I feel like I have to be freakishly good. Thank God I'm freakishly good at what I do. And a lot of people doing what I do. They look like me. It's a reason, Johnson. There's a reason. But anyway. Give it up for Neal Brennan, y'all. All right, guys. So, Neal goes on to point out, like, don't torture yourself with 1,000 cuts and feel bad and just don't be the performative, oh, I'm woke because you make tweets. If you're in a position to do something where you could hire more black people, because I'm telling you, it's necessary, it's important, then do it. Don't just tweet. Don't just Facebook post about it. Don't just call up and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So that makes sense because these things, I would also like to also mention, though, that we need more than just you and I being nicer people. We need policies that fucking change the game, okay? So we need policies that will make it more equal, right? But we can't just wait for policies. We have to do our bit because look what we got. We got Trump and we got Biden in the wing. Neither one of them do I trust to implement those policies. So if you are, if you're in a position to do things, do them. That's all. Because we can't trust. Dr. Cornel West said the changes we want to get done aren't going to be made through going to the voting ballot booth, electorally only, right? It's going to take activism, pushing the agenda, changing the narrative. It's going to take that too. So, yeah. And some of us just want it electoral because it's easier to just show up and go cast your vote, and then that changes things magically, but it's going to take more than that. All right, guys, 319-527-6212. I'm going to do a quick break, then we're going to come back, go to the first call. I love you. Stay tuned. My guest today, Dr. Cornel West. Thank you, Mr. West, for being here.
My brother, I'm just so blessed to be in conversation with you. I want to salute you. You are a force for good in a mighty way, my brother. You remind me of William Monroe Trotter, that great black radical, cutting against the grain, telling the truth, seeking justice, willing to get in trouble, be in the middle of controversy, but always grounded in quest for truth and justice, man. So I salute you, man.
Thank you, Dr. West. All right, folks. Audio looks good. Looks like we're ready to go. 319-527-6212. I'll go ahead with the first call. First caller, you're on the air, 559. Thank you for your patience. What's your name? What's your comment?
Anytime, Brother Tim. It's Brother Eric up in Minneapolis, the epicenter of where this is all going on the ground floor on the more ways than one. How you doing?
Hey, Brother Eric, I didn't know you went to Minneapolis, man. Talk to us, man. Great.
Well, everybody, I mean, I would say that we're going sane. This is a very sane reaction. And because this has been a long time coming. I mean, people are hurting, and they got a lot of time on their hands. A lot of people are, I mean, with the lockdown, old walls. I mean, I think he's going to we had a curfew, work to keep things marginally, relatively calm. It's actually been, I mean, look, I've actually been very proud of these young brothers, and I'll just take note, or, been helping them, guidance. It's guidance. They just need guidance, because the burning down the police precinct, that's a symbol. But where things were destroyed, they had meaning. Target's going to be fine. AutoZone's going to be fine. There are certain, I mean, there haven't really been a lot of mom and pop places. Those have more or less been spared. There's not been really any violence as far as, interpersonal violence between, protesters or, people kind of turning on each other, especially like in residential. Now, there has been a lot of violence with the police. They've been very trigger happy. They've been assholes in a lot of neighborhoods. In fact, people sitting on their front porch. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see some videos that people posted with that. Went through some neighborhoods of some friends of mine, and they got shot on. They used paint pellets and some rubber bullets, but Jesus Christ, I mean, on people's private property. So it's kind of scary a little bit, but it makes it that much more important that we keep the pressure on. Honestly, the word on the street is they only charge that. I mean, I'll just say they only charge that motherfucker because we burned down that damn precinct. They weren't going to do it. In fact, if there's one thing that I've been encouraging, people keep the pressure on, because they gave it to Keith Ellison. Now, Keith Ellison, again, so much promise, but boy, they're giving it to him to soften the blow. They're giving it to him to soften the blow to, oh my, we just can't find enough evidence, yada, yada, yada. And because it's going to come from a black guy, it's supposed to be okay. No. We're very, very pissed off that it was only third-degree murder, and they still haven't charged the other three people with anything yet. So no, that's it's keeping a fight, and been very controlled, very strategic. Because see, that's what you got to be. That's the one underlying theme. I mean, we can pick apart what everybody says. I mean, and that's a game in and of itself, right? But I mean, the underlying theme is, I mean, be strategic. Don't go, willy-nilly, oh yeah, filth, foul, filth. I mean, have it mean something. There's got to be a purpose behind it. It's got to lead towards something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't just go destroying shit just to destroy shit. I mean, what the hell is good as that? Doesn't do anything anyway.
Right.
But I mean, hey, you get to what's been going on, and look, it's been nothing but peaceful. It's been nothing but, there hasn't been any I mean, they've been trying though. You've seen the news. They've been talking, the property damage, what damage they really don't want they're trying to get away from. Okay, yeah, this guy got killed. This guy, we saw a man get murdered. In fact, they let it out on TV. I was surprised. The mayor himself of Minneapolis, he actually said he got murdered on TV. It was on the local news. I just about shit a brick because I thought, oh man, I need to record that, because wonder how many times they're going to replay that. But it's working. This is what that looks like. And again, this is what's been missing. It's people saying, you know what, we're fed up. It's, in a lot of regard, the odds are, and I can actually tell you from just on good faith, that a lot of these guys that are out there, they got nothing to lose. They're out of a job. They lost a lot with the shutdown. So, they weren't as fortunate as some of us. But see, some of us who are actually in the know, that actually, put our money where our mouth is, figuratively and literally, hey, helping them out. Patron different things. Selective patronage, I mean, it's the mom and pop places, help the local restaurants, maybe reestablish some, again, take just different ways of helping each other out, because that's what it's going to take. And we're finding that out now. I mean, you prepare, you take care of each other, and you keep the pressure on and say, enough is enough. Because, I mean, look, this is just the tip of the iceberg if we let this go. If we let this go, I mean, again, you ain't, I'll just say, you think, oh yeah, we haven't, you haven't, you have not seen the worst of it. Right. Say what you want. I mean, we'll just say what you want about Biden. He didn't fly them helicopters nice and low over those protesters now, did he?
Right.
He didn't have that photo op, that bullshit photo op with the Bible upside down, and hasn't said a damn thing about it. Now, I mean, look, I don't like the guy either. Absolutely not. Honestly, truth be told, I'm probably going to write in Bernie and Nader. But you know something, man? He at least said something. Trump has that ability, and he says nothing, and he doesn't do anything. In fact, that's the nice thing about what's going to end up happening. There's going to end up being a second stimulus, and there's going to be a lot more relief for small businesses, at least. I mean, it's not enough, but I mean, at least it's something. And people bark that, oh, well, it's not going to pass. Oh, bullshit. No, people are hurting. People are hurting. Businesses are hurting. Businesses need customers. Customers need money in order to be customers. Because if you just give your shit away, that's not a business. That's a charity. And I want to be charitable. I can't be a charitable by being a charity. So that's one of those things. But no, it's been a very controlled. I've actually, like I said, been very proud. We're keeping it up here. The nice thing is it's spreading. It's spreading internationally. I've seen some brothers in London, a few other places, and it's that sustained, organized effort. That's the thing. It's not a set it and forget it. Hey, those days are gone. It's like we talk about. Voting did not get us into this. Complacency did. We got soft. We got lazy. People got soft. People got lazy. And they said, well, they're not bad. Yeah, they're not. No. Absolutely not. This is what it takes, and we just got to keep it up. So, no, I'm just trying to stay safe. They opened everything up and are opening everything up. They're still kind of, here and there, whatnot, but it's starting to kind of at least a controlled calm and, like I said, just sustained. I tell people, no, it's not. I mean, it's not about voting. You just got to keep the pressure on. You got to keep the pressure on because, hey, think about politicians as our bitch. They work for us, and we got to work them hard. Well, we've been slacking, haven't we? And they've been working. They've been somebody else's bitch. I mean, look, if you want to look at it like that, I mean, read the book, A Pimp by Iceberg Slim. Yeah. One of the books I read as a younger man kind of changed my life, the way to look at life, interesting, perspective. And it kind of explains and just, what? Hey, there it is. And what are you going to do? Because we're seeing what the other side's doing. And they're making no bones about it. That man wanted to kill that brother. Just straight up. You saw in that video. That was awful. Anybody that saw that video, terrible. Very, very awful. And it's, again, he said, you know what? I'm going to kill this guy right in front of you, and you're not going to do a goddamn thing about it. Well, you know what, motherfucker? We're doing something about it.
That's right. Brother Eric, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Brother Eric. I appreciate it, man.
Anytime. Stay safe, brother.
You too, man. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. I agree with him 100% when he says the reason why they prosecuted Derek is because of what they did in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. People always say, hey, they did this because, not because they saw the footage, because we saw the footage. And then now it's a step further. They prosecuted this cop because we took steps. And so I don't know who it was, Brother Eric, but someone said, look at all this damage that's been caused. Most of it could be blamed on the fact that Minneapolis won't bring the rest of those officers to justice. Now, I just saw someone, mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Bottoms, and she was kind of questionable in the video that she did. I was like, look at the way she's talking to black folks. I don't like this. But she did something. There was a video of a police brutality against two young college students, a male and female college student in their car, and these cops tased both of them and drag them out the car. Mayor Bottoms, not only did they fire the two of the cops, but they're prosecuting. And not just the two cops, 4 other cops Like all of them involved are now facing charges. This was what you call like getting out in front of it, aggressively protecting your community. Like that's the model that we need. And so like that to me is like what could have happened in Minneapolis. And there was just as much footage. Well, actually, there's more footage, obviously, in the George Floyd situation. The killing of George Floyd has way more footage. But the footage that we do have, Miss Bottoms, Mayor Bottoms says they looked at it, and her and the police chief decided this was the course to take. They didn't want to BS. They didn't want to play around with it. They did the right thing. They made the right move to be proactive. So, like other, you know what I'm saying? Like other cities can do the same thing. They don't have to lean back and allow cops to do whatever. So thank you, Brother Eric. Once again, I'm going to the next call. 909. You're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Cam.
Hey.
Cam, hi. It's Melinda Osuna, longtime supporter.
Yes, you are. Hey,
Patreon supporter, and it's nice to finally connect with you. It's been a couple of years.
It's been a while.
First, before I forget to say, before I get into my, stuff I wanted to share, I want everybody who are new to this community to know that Tim Black has been there through thick and thin. At least I've been a supporter for the last 5 years, and I tell you, he's very principled, really, really doesn't give a damn who you are, what party affiliation. He's really stands really strong on his values and what he stands for in so many areas: environmental, social, racial justice, you name it. And your platform is needed. Of all the platforms right now, especially what we're dealing with right now, your platform is needed so much. And I hope that it continues to grow. And I was just dying to join. It's a bummer that you have some technical issues, but I'm so appreciative of your platform now more than ever.
Wow. Well, thank you, Melinda. I appreciate you with the kind words, sister. I really do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and so we did have I live in a small town in Southern California. It's a very small, quiet town. It does have some racism in this community just by looking at the social media platforms. And so, I just wanted to let you know that the events that are taking place, at least my observation, is that they're driven by the youth. These kids are so angry. They're angry as hell. What you see out in the big cities, it's also happening in small town communities. There was just a lot of fear moving. The Nextdoor app and all these, older generation, they were just worried about having a peaceful protest in our small community. But one of the opportunities we have is that not only do they have energy, passion, and we have an opportunity to connect them. That's the older, more seasoned generation who has the experience of organizing, connected with a lot of very good organizers, and we were able to help these students be successful, making sure that they had legal observance, any agitation.
Melinda, your phone is going in and out pretty badly. I don't know what it is.
Step away over here. But just what I'm trying to point out is these kids have the energy, and I also wanted to just recap what I said Friday, that these kids are informed. They have so much free time with the quarantine and the shutdowns. They're restless, they're informed, they're angry, and it's a combination of so many issues that this generation is facing: the economic inequalities, the environmental, climate change. And they're just, with the recent situation with the Sanders campaign, and who really made up that support, they are, that boiling point is now being manifested out on the streets. And I got to tell you, I tell people this all the time. This is not a one-off. It's not going to be I think it's going to take weeks. This is going to continue to occur for weeks, just like the yellow vest. These kids are informed, and they're looking at what's happening in France, South Korea, all these other places that are requiring them to realize that they really need to get out on the street and really put that pressure, just like your previous caller mentioned. So, this is just, we're living in crazy times. It is scary. I look at all the footage, and I'm really just if I myself wanting to take a drink, I'm going to end up being an alcoholic. Looking at all the but it is overwhelming. But I also want to let you know from a policy standpoint, because we also need to teach these kids to not only go out there and organize, get on the streets and protest, but to take it also to local city council opportunities to mandate policies. Now, I just found out that my county, San Bernardino County, they're now considering declaring racism as a public health crisis. I also found out that Ohio may be the first state to declare that, and they're looking at when it comes to public health crisis, looking at the health situation, and so many components that really make up the crisis from a racial standpoint. So I think there's a huge opportunity for policy change as well. And I think that's it. I just wanted to just say thank you for providing this platform, and just continue to, do the great work that you do, and well, that's pretty much for myself. Thank you.
Well, Ermelinda, thank you once again, sister. I appreciate you. And I love the fact that you're bringing up issues concerning these young people. Like, if you know my story, I have a son he's 22 now. And, you put it in very good perspective how young people could be feeling right now. I mean, you got pandemic, you got environmental, right? You got lack of jobs. You got college debt. You got black people getting killed in the streets. You got war, right? We don't even talk about that anymore. It's just going on all the time. Ever since he's been here on the planet, ever since he's existed, ever since me and his mama, got together that night. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I mean, that's a lot. Really, that's enough. It's been enough, man. If you truly think about it, it's been more than enough to make anybody, any sane person, whatever normal is, whatever sane is, to make anyone go over the boiling point, to say, we got to do something. So it's like Brother Eric, Ermelinda, they both are saying giving us vital information about how to look at this, different perspectives, I think. That's why I love doing the show, man. You keep me honest. You inspire me. And you keep me thinking beyond myself, my own personal situation. Because I will drift into, over 40 black guy, inner city, tough life, and not think about the reality for young people that's different, but it's a different toughness, right? Once upon a time, you could have a high school diploma and be okay. You knew that there'd be opportunity somewhere, somehow, hopefully you can find an opportunity. We got college kids with less job prospects than I had coming out of high school without a degree, just going to community college. We got people with 2 degrees now. I met them. I met not even college kids. I met grown people. I met a lady in South Carolina when I went down there to cover the Bernie Sanders campaign. 2 degrees. 3 jobs, all of them temp jobs, all of them part-time, none of them with benefits. Her and her husband. White folks, struggling. So, yeah, do people have a reason to be pissed? Are people, unstable, financially unstable? Yeah. And that was before the pandemic. This was pre-pandemic. All right, so I'm going to go next call. Thank you guys for the great calls. 310, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Your girl Tony, and I'm out here in California as well. So they tearing it up, man. But anyway, what I was going to say is, I feel for all these people and everybody, is kind of doing the kumbaya thing, but I just don't, I just feel black people have to work together more and start building our own communities and creating our own opportunities or whatever. Because all these folks, just like you had said earlier on a video with all the police videos and all the, all of them getting on one knee, and I don't want to. All that does not impress me at all. because the structure is still there where they can do what they want to do. And as far as I'm concerned, we do need to develop the policies, but developing policy and getting it to pass takes time.
Yep.
What we need to do is, like you said, keep the pressure on, because it's right. Only when white folks are scared do they do what they supposed to do. And I'm not going to give you a cookie because you decided to do the right thing, which is what you're supposed to do in the first place.
Right.
So what we've got to do, voting ain't going to get it, like you said. Policy takes time. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know if you heard of the Blackout Day 2020. I'll send you some information on that, but it's going to be a day where we're asking that black people buy nothing on that particular day. And then we can start really working on developing an economic strategy to start pooling our money and building our businesses and doing that. Because bottom line, white folks have had 400 years to be righteous, and it hasn't happened yet. So as far as I'm concerned, you got to pull into yourself and build your own community just like everybody else does. Because if you're waiting, as Malcolm said, for somebody to give you your freedom, freedom is something you got to do for yourself. So,
Bam.
I'm just sorry. You know, and don't get me wrong. If you're righteous and you're trying to be right and you're doing the right thing, that's great. But that's what you're supposed to do.
There it is.
As a human being. As a human being. And that's why this stuff is catching on all over the world, because we know our brothers and sisters in London catching hell just like we did. Yep. Okay? Because they got the same problem that we have. Okay? And so, and those that are righteous enough to see what this stuff is, and I give them their props, but that's just it. You got to go to the source of the problem. White folks need to go to the source of the problem, which is themselves. And it's great to be helpful, but that's just it. You got to do it from your heart and as a human being, and not come over here trying to get in our stuff, trying to help us out. Do you help how you can, but you don't need to, because as you see, it's mostly the white people doing a lot of the looting and tearing out the windows and everything, but we gonna catch the hell for that. So I'm saying you need to go do your own protest and let us be, because you done had plenty of time to do the right thing, and you haven't.
I heard that,
so
Tony.
That's all I can say.
Well, I appreciate it, Tony. Thank you for that, sister. And yeah, Tony. I remember. I think make sure I get your name right on the next video. Davey D, right? Davey D. He's a hip hop historian type dude, right? Been following Davey D. I hope we still follow each other. Anyway, I saw something he said on Instagram, or it could have been Twitter, right when everything kicked off. He said, "Man, I know they saying this looting's bad," and I'm paraphrasing. He said, "I know they saying this looting's bad, but I still can't get over the $500 billion of looting that the government just gave to corporations. Meanwhile, they gave us $1,200 and said, have a nice day." Where were all the libertarians and conservatives? They weren't in the streets complaining. Now, they were just like, we want to get back to work. We want to get back to work and get pimped some more. Please let us get back to work. But they weren't in the streets about the $500 billion bailouts. The trillions of dollars that was given to Wall Street before the bailout. They weren't in the street over that. They damn sure weren't saying, look how lawless these people are, looting America. But let some kid with a skateboard, and look, hey, I don't know if this kid with a skateboard, or so I don't know who doing what. Somebody doing something. Somebody stole some Mercedes Benzes. I think it was Rodeo Drive. I don't know where it was, somewhere in California. And somebody hit up the Rolex shop. They was driving new cars off the lot. But that's nothing. That's pennies. It's pennies compared to what looting was done that didn't require any breaking of anything. You understand what I'm saying? And y'all was... So it's just amazing. It was amazing. That's all. So anyway, thank you so much, Tony, for the sentiments, sister, and I agree with you. What we need is more leadership. And you know what's something, Tony? You know what's something hard to do? Wrap your head around the fact that you are part of the leadership. Right, like that's what I've been having to do lately is wrap my head around that shit. You know, like, oh well, I'm a voice. Oh, okay, because you know, who thinks of themselves that way? Now maybe Dr. Cornel West does. You know, maybe Killer Mike does because he's been doing this. But so leadership has to lead. Tough business. All right, 646. Thank you for holding on. You're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
646. Thank you for holding on. You're live. What's your name? What's your comment? 646. Thank you for holding on. You're live.
Oh, this is Roy.
What's up, Roy? What's on your mind, Roy?
Hey, you're keeping me up late, man.
It's a good cause.
Two things. One, I'm really sad that Cory Booker isn't in the primary anymore. Because I miss your imitation. Of Cory Booker.
Got you.
Your Amy Klobuchar is good, but not as good as Cory Booker.
True. Very true.
The second thing is, I live in Midtown Manhattan, and I looked out of my apartment window today, and I saw this great sea of humanity coming up the street. And it must have gone on for 20 minutes. Thousands and thousands of people. And I was impressed by that because I believed in what these folks were doing in the street. But I noticed this really interesting point of behavior at the street corner where there is a city trash receptacle. And people who are drinking water and coffees in the demonstration would step out of it and put their empty bottles and coffee cups in the receptacle. And when the trash can got to be overflowing, other people passing stopped and picked up the overflow and put it into the receptacle. Now that just speaks to me about a caring community. These people don't live in my neighborhood, never seen them, never interacted with them directly, but they were behaving responsibly in public space. And that tiny bit of behavior just spoke to me about the aspirations of this crowd, of a civil society. And once the receptacle was full and people had picked up the extra refuse and put it in that, no one else put refuse in it. They walked by it and they must have found another receptacle. We're talking about tens of thousands of people walking by. And
start your show now, press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Hey, Roy, I don't know if you're still there, brother, but I want to thank you for the phone call.
Thanks, Tim.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, Roy did a good job. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate what Roy's saying here because that needs to be expressed because of all the negativity that we've been seeing. In fact, maybe it's very good that he made this point, that there are human beings. They're not animals. They're not monsters. They're not vandals. These are human beings expressing their citizen rights, their rights as to freedom of speech, protesting their government. And they should be respected for that. That's part of why you serve in the military. That's why you are a public official for these rights, freedom of press, freedom of speech. Okay, so, but I want to make sure, I just get it's a little something in me that says, hold up, I want to reiterate, we need real change. I like the fact that they can demonstrate and do so and not destroy, and pick up the Starbucks. We need our government to pick up the Starbucks. We need the laws of this land to reflect the good nature of most Americans there. Get what I'm saying? They need to be a mirror image of the best of us. That's what they need to be, and they're not. So how do we go about getting to make them do that? Because they obviously don't want to do it on their own volition. How do we make it incumbent upon them that they give us that? We demand it or we take it, because what can we do? I've been saying this for a minute, guys. America's very much comfortable, based on the status quo that I've seen, for us to go another 100 years of people being killed in the street, the rich getting more, the poor getting less, average black family worth 10% of the average white family. America's very fine with that. If it wasn't fine with it, it would have changed it. We got a space force. You don't think America couldn't change mass incarceration if it wanted to? I mean, any of the things that you're concerned with, you really think your country couldn't change it if they wanted to? Are you that moronic? Are you that gullible to think that hey, Trump says it all the time. It's the best country in the world. We're the greatest. We're just going to get greater. We're the most fantastic. We're the best. We're the best. We're the best country ever. When America wants to get it done, we get it done. Anything that this country could aspire to do, it could do, based on just sheer fact that we print our own damn money. Not only do we print our own money, we print other countries' money too. So don't tell me we don't have money. The people that buy into that are just crazy. We print money. We print it. We topple regimes just so they can't create their own currency. Do you know that, right? Pull your head out your ass. So what I'm saying is, how do we not just be concerned about, I'm glad, I want us to be good people, but just being good people ain't getting it done. I'm going to go next call. 310. 310 is gone. Don't do that, 310. You throw off my rotation. 978, you live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hi, Tim. It's Rebecca Lane calling.
Hey, Rebecca.
From Lansing, Michigan. How you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
Well, I was in the queue on Friday, and that was very disappointing, but I thought you made it a really great show anyway, so thank you for that. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's like I'd love to keep it positive, but that's really hard right now. Okay, why? I think it's really telling that our country prioritizes mobilizing to hurt people in the street and, militarize and force and, dominate the protesters, that bullshit. But they wouldn't mobilize to save us from COVID. It just tells you where the priorities are. So, It's so terrible. And then Trump's talking about, I'm going to put the army on the ground in major cities because you're not dominating your protesters and putting it down or whatever he said. And that's a terrifying thought because apparently that's never been enacted, that power that he has. That's never been done before. And I think it was 2 former chiefs of staff. I didn't write it down, so I'm not sure, but they were generals and they were condemning it really hard, which was encouraging. I have 2 brothers that are both Army veterans. One thinks that the Army would never fire on Americans, and the other one thinks that, hell yeah, they would. So I think that's kind of interesting. But anyway, Amy Klobuchar, going back to what you were talking about on Friday really quickly, she really did deliberately delay doing anything about the last Chauvin incident because she was running and then being elected, and then, she didn't want to deal with that one. And so that should not have taken 9 months. I think that's fucking garbage that took 9 months. And I actually downloaded a PDF file that was done by the study of all of the cop-related killings in Minnesota going back like 20 or 30 years. And there were 31 pages. And they were just 1 and 2 line, sometimes 3 or 4, with just little blips of just descriptions, names, dates, and a tiny little thing of what happened. And I went through that entire thing because I was looking for Chauvin's name, and I found it several times. That was a lot. And also I wanted to say that they're all saying, oh, you know how to de-escalate and train them and blah, blah, blah. And look, no, that shit doesn't work. I just saw this whole thing about a study that they did about the retraining and the tolerance stuff and the cameras. And guess what? They're still killing at an even faster and higher rate than ever before. None of that shit works. The thing that's going to work is defunding them and then putting that money into communities. Because over the years, obviously, it's been said before, they have just defunded all the social programs and then diverted that money into security and police forcing and surveillance. And now we just live in this dictatorship, ready-made so that one guy can come along and snap a finger and boom, we don't have freedom anymore. And I think that's horrible. There's that. I really get mad when I hear people say, oh, it just needs more cameras. Oh, that doesn't work. In 2015, they did that in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, like specifically to those cops because they were so bad. They did all those measures. And look what happened 5 years later. It's worse than ever. And I think it's disgusting that the guy that was standing there watching with the idiot look on his face is related to him. I think that's fucked up and maybe unprofessional, like he's being bullied or there's some kind of weird family dynamic and you're not going to intervene. No, why not? Because you're involved in shootings too and you don't care. Because you're all, and then he knew the guy because he worked with them. I mean, that is so shady. And meanwhile, they're not arresting him. Okay, cool. Also, Michigan opened up yesterday, and we're in phase 4 now. Restaurants open up on the 8th. One of my jobs will let me come back when I'm comfortable with it, when I feel safe. The other one, I might lose that job because we have a smaller staff, and they might not be able to spare it. So that's kind of shitty, but I'm not going out until July. And it sucks because finally the revolt is here and I'm too scared of COVID. So this is what I did instead. I made a big sign and put it in my window, second story. Everyone can see it for a really long ways. And it says, Black Lives Matter. And below it, a slogan I stole from a protester that said, I can breathe and I will not be silent. And then I donated to one of those bail funds locally. I think it might have been through Black Lives Matter Lansing. Because I, have to be safe. As far as my lungs, you know what I mean? Right. And also I don't want to take a rubber bullet to the face to blow my nose off because, and really quickly, and I'll make it, and that'll be it. Those things apparently are not supposed to be shot directly at people. They're designed to be shot at the ground and ricocheted into the crowd to disperse them. And it's not meant to really hurt them, but just sort of like give them a few bruises. But the impact is supposed to be absorbed by the ground. And they're lethal when you shoot them at people and hit them in the wrong place. One guy lost his eye, one chick's in a coma, another chick got her nose blown off, another chick got one to the stomach and she was pregnant. I think it's really, really scary. So that's it, Tim, and thank you so much for everything you do. As always, love you, love your show. And I'm in Facebook jail for insulting a white man, and I'll leave it at that. That's why I'm not on the chat. So sorry, Sam. All right, love you, bye.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate you. Wow. She in Facebook jail. When's visiting hours? Need commissary? Rebecca Lane's a good, she, well, what can I say, man? I'm going to go to the next call, guys. 503. Yeah, 503, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hi, my name's Taylor, and I need to start this off by saying I love what you do. Really, I do. It's awesome. You're a breath of fresh air.
Thanks, Taylor.
And no problem. I despise so much about the condition of our system currently. There's so much that is fundamentally wrong with it. Like, it's so widespread as well. Like, I live in Astoria, so it's awesome to see that even in a small community like this, there are Antifa and Black Lives Matter gatherings protesting George Floyd's death. And like, one time I saw a shrine dedicated to the guy. It was awesome. Sorry, I am bad at phone calls. I barely call my own family, let alone people outside my extremely small social circle, because I'm on the spectrum and bad at emotion.
You're doing fine, man.
Thanks. It's like there are the share of morons in this town. Two people in particular. Have you or anyone else currently watching ever heard of a woman named Haley Adams?
I think I've heard the name Haley. I'm not. Go ahead and tell the story, brother.
Okay, so here's how it starts. My dad peruses Facebook pretty regularly, and this woman named Haley Adams, it's like such a moronic bitch, because she moved here from Portland after this had happened, and at least I think that's what happened. I don't know, but she organized a protest in Seaside, like protesting the lockdown, and no one wanted the protesters there. All of them were from Portland, which isn't even on the coast. They were saying shit like, open the coast, blah, 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 wah, wah, wah. Get minorities out of here, because it's the same crowd of people, and they're morons, complete idiots.
Okay.
So when the protest, in quotation marks, happened, a grand total of 15 people showed up, and it was streamed as well, so I could witness the depression. It was sad, it was pathetic, and it was hilarious. But yeah.
Okay.
She lives here in Astoria now, and her moronic fan base regularly clashes with Antifa and Black Lives Matter in this area. I don't notice it because I have this routine that I do with my dad. He works doubles and at a restaurant, and I don't do much. Admittedly, I should be doing more, but
Okay.
I'm still working out my own life.
Well, look.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, thank you, Taylor, for the phone call, man. And I just looked up who Haley Adams is. Piece of work. Piece of work. Yeah, so, Seaside braces for demonstration against virus restrictions. She sounds like a attention seeking asshole. Just do you. And we're glad to have you listening to the show. And I appreciate your support of positive, important issues. And you don't let these people, the negative people, get you down at all, man. You're going to always deal with them. They exist. We can't get rid of them. They're here, so we try to ignore them and keep doing the good work anyway, right? So, yeah. But thanks for the phone call, my friend. Trying to get more people in here tonight. Let's see if I can. 252, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hi, Tim. This is Kira from Fayetteville, North Carolina. How you doing?
I'm good, Kira. What's up?
I just wanted to call and talk about, the disagreement we had and apologize because I feel like, people may have taken it the wrong way. Racism,
not really necessary.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's not really necessary.
But I feel like, I want to do it because, it was out of character for me because I'm a chill person. I don't be, disrespectful to people. I don't raise my voice at people. I'm a cool, chill, laid back type of person. But, when I made that phone call, I was speaking from a place of hurt as an African-American woman, seeing something like that, front and center. And it's just like, it just got to a point where it's just like, anger and rage. And I don't ever want to, disrespect you, especially with the platform that you provide for me to call up and talk and just say my piece about things. It just really bothers me that people took it in a way where they were sending you, any kind of hate or animosity from that, because that's not what the point of the conversation was. The point of, us calling in is to talk about things that affect everyday lives of all of us. Racism, it's a multifaceted thing. It's a multidimensional thing, and it's multicultural. How two black people talk about a situation, there was some truth to what Tim was saying. Tim was not absolutely wrong about what he was saying, and there was truth to what I was saying. That doesn't mean that the conversation should not be, it's totally invalid because he disagreed with me or I disagree with him. It's just the fact that we are able to have the conversation because normally we wouldn't be able to. I appreciate everything that you do, and I don't ever want there to ever be a space or unknown out there that, okay, this is some hate, this is some disrespect. No, that's not what that was. The conversation needs to be had because a lot of y'all out there don't know. Y'all don't know what it's like for being black in America, being just dealing with stuff like that on a day-to-day basis. It wears you down. It wears you down to such a degree that you have what you have right now out here in these streets. And people need to understand and recognize that. And, as far as the comedian that you put up there, yeah, it is important for white people in America and corporations in particular to hire more black people. But what is that going to do if our jobs keep getting sent elsewhere? What is that going to do? We need to address the root of the problem. The root of the problem is legislation. Legislation does need to be passed. But also, we cannot deny how Joe Biden had a place and a hand in everything that has happened to this point that has caused so much hurt in America, particularly for the working class. NAFTA has destroyed the middle class. It has destroyed everything that we hold dear, being able to have the right to work in different facilities. I am someone, like you said, who has a degree, and I'm working as a truck driver. I'm not working in my degree. I'm not working in my field because it's hard. You know what I'm saying? I had to do what I had to do, and I had to take up a job that I didn't necessarily want or was overqualified for because that's my situation, and I still have to pay my bills. I still have to take care of my child. I still have a family. We have to address those things. You know what I'm saying? And as far as racism goes, racism is something that definitely has to have more than a rubber Band-Aid put on it. Joe Biden and his platitudes is not going to fix a goddamn thing because he's the architect of a lot of the things that have happened. A lot of the things that have happened, that yet you want to say blue no matter who. And yet you want to say this is the way we should do things. That is invalid. Yes, Trump is a monster. Joe Biden is a little bit better. But there are areas of our lives that have real financial consequences that he has destroyed. The student loan crisis for black women is insane. But yet you don't want to vote the person in who wants to get rid of student debt and give people a clean slate. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I think that anybody who chooses to vote for Joe Biden and not let the Democrats take their ass kicking again, which they deserve. They deserve every loss that they have on a presidential and on a senatorial or a house level because of their inaction, because of the things that they allow to go on in America that don't benefit all people, but claim to be for all people. It's a lot. And, that's all I want to say. Thank you for letting me speak on your platform, Tim. I appreciate everything that you have allowed me to speak out about because it is my therapy. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I don't ever want that to be confused across to anyone that's listening. I don't ever want it to be confused that this is not needed. This is necessary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you inspired me to run for political office. You inspired me to actually get out here and work with the Bernie Sanders campaign in my state. Yes, he only got 17% of the vote. But living in a purplish / red-leaning state and as a black person and having to explain why I'm independent and why I will not just cower down and vote for Democrats, it's hard. But you inspire me to do that. And I just have to show my gratitude to you and to anybody in the progressive movement. Be strong. Stay motivated. Don't take your foot off the gas. These riots, they need to happen. Anybody who doesn't understand, it's because you don't want to at this point. It is what it is. Like I said before, this is the age of information. The information is out there. If you want to find it, you go on your research and you go ahead and you find what you need to find the truth behind why black people are rioting. And that's all I wanted to say. I don't want to take up too much time. Thank y'all for allowing me to speak. Again, y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Kara, for the phone call, and thank you so much for the kind words and the just clarification. Little sister, you have a passion, and I've spoken to you privately about, and that's part of the reason why I said you didn't need to, because we already cleaned the air, but I appreciate you making sure the air was clear. You have a passion that resonates, and I see great things for you, and I wish so much for you. As far as what people took away from it, there are people who don't like what I'm doing. To some people, I'm competition. For some people, I'm an adversary or whatever. And some people just kind of look around hoping to get something that they could rub in my face or give me a hard time about. This is because I'm effective. If I wasn't, they wouldn't be watching. If I wasn't, they wouldn't be trying to use my own callers against me. But this is something I'm going to have to get more and more used to because the more that this community grows, the more impact we'll have. I know that some other people are going to start using phone calls. I'm glad they are. I'm glad other people are now inspired to start taking phone calls from the world and the community. It ain't easy to do. But I will say this. I wish them luck. Because once you open up and you let people call in and say whatever they want, if you truly do that, some people have pre-recorded calls. It's not the same thing, Johnson. They're cherry-picking phone calls. So I'm very fortunate to have the great callers that I do have. Thank you, Kara, for your powerful voice. And we good. Now we're better than good. All right? Thank you. 614. You're live. What's your name? What's your comment? Alvin.
Hey, Tim Block.
How you doing, brother?
Yes, sir. Alvin here.
Yes.
Fine. to brother Eric. Bringing in the fire. Always this thing. Always bringing in the fire. Honestly, he should have his own show. Anyway, just two things as usual. One, I was watching TV here in Australia. Apparently, one of the police officers hit one of the local station's media cameraman with his shield and punched his camera. So it's all over here on TV, and the Prime Minister is angry. The opposition leader is screaming like, what is going on? The Australian that they can't understand why they are targeting international journalists. So I don't know. Basically, they are trying to get the ambassador to talk to the State Department.
Oh, so it's somebody, Alvin. So
What's
it's somebody,
going on?
It's a reporter from Australia
Yeah.
that was here in the States reporting on the uprisings in the States.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So basically, they're angry about it and everything. But anyway, also, there are also solidarity protests here, both in Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. I think some other areas as well, but those are the ones that I can remember. Then again, honestly, I don't know what the police are doing. Honestly, it's crazy. They're just attacking people unnecessarily. Honestly, this whole thing is just crazy. But at least the good thing is that it's moving forward a bit. Who knows how long this is going to last, but it's working a little bit. But honestly, the looting, I just don't know what to say. It is what it is. Listen, it is what it is. Anyway, I believe white America should do better. How that happens, who knows? Honestly, just seems hopeless at the point. And between Joe Biden and Trump, Trump is horrible, but Joe Biden, I don't know. Anyway,
right,
Tim.
Yeah.
Take care, mate.
You take care too, man. Thank you. And as for your, excuse me, as for the Australian news reporter who was, sounds like he was, some form of assault took place just doing his job. He got off lucky. Yeah, he's lucky he didn't get choked to death or shot. Because when you come to America, man, you're in America now. You know, that's what we do here. None of that. What you guys got? Nightsticks in Australia? We got guns. Lots of guns and tanks. And no rights. No rights. Unless you have a whole lot of money. If you don't got a whole lot of money, you don't have rights, but you can get some rights and some lefts and tased and shot. So, yeah. Tell him or her to consider themselves lucky. Going to the next call. I have a 11111 number. You're live. What's your comment? What's your name? What's your comment? International call or block call or whoever you are. Let's make it fun. 111. Who that is? 111. Talking to you. You'll never find a love like mine. Moving on. Waiting for you. 817, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment? 817.
Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes. How you doing?
Hey.
Hey.
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Who's this?
Leslie Moliere Berachon.
Leslie, what's on your mind?
A lot of stuff. The first thing I have to say is fuck the Houston police. I'm 52 years old. I have polyarthritis. I have a broken shoulder for the last 2.5 years from a cop in Houston. I put in an internal affairs report a year ago. I've been Facebooking and emailing the Houston sergeant, whatever, that did the whole, oh, we're with you bullshit. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, Avito, whatever his name.
Yes.
Okay,
I've been emailing him for 1.5 years. I've been emailing the mayor for 1.5 years. So much so, today, I got a Facebook notification that said, like our page. But I've never gotten a response. And the cop broke my shoulder on purpose in front of witnesses, including another cop and including my children. And no one will help me. And the charges that I went to jail for 78 hours. The charges were dropped as soon as the judge read what happened. So I started calling lawyers.
Yeah.
Every lawyer that I spoke to said, yes, you were assaulted. Yes, you were violated. No, we will not take your case because in today's climate with Trump, you won't win.
Whoa.
I have been calling people for 2.5 years. It happened in Houston, Texas. I now live in Florida. I've been screaming to the high heavens to anyone who will listen, and no one will help me. My shoulder is still broken 2.5 years later. I need surgery, but I can't afford it.
You got to do a GoFundMe.
So,
Leslie, got to do a GoFundMe.
no,
Yeah.
okay, everybody keeps saying that at me, and I'm 52. It feels weird to me. I'm of the generation that you don't ask for help like that. You and your family, if you've got it, and your friends, if you've got them, you band together and you do whatever the fuck you need to do. Right. And if you don't have that support, then you just deal. That's the generation I'm from. And just so you know, I'm newly married. It's my third husband. I'm 52. He's 36. And he's the most amazing man I've ever met in my life. And he's been telling me to do it. And I just feel weird. I feel like I'm not deserving of a GoFundMe. Are you kidding me? There are people who have these crazy medical conditions that can't get to where they need to go to get the help that they need, and all kinds of other things like that. I'm just this old black lady with a broken shoulder, and I've been dealing with it for 2.5 years, so fuck it. That's how I feel about it.
Well, Leslie, I want to thank you for calling. What I'm going to tell you this as just a old black guy telling you, let that go. You're not demanding anybody do anything. People get to make their choices. So let people decide if they want to help. And what you'll do is, if you make that decision, let your husband start the GoFundMe, or someone in your family start it for you. email me the link, and I will share it for you to get the ball rolling. And just tell your story. And you can even put in there that this is reluctant, that you don't feel like you're worthy, but you need the surgery. And just be as honest as you were on this call. And let us decide, us the people decide that you're a human being. I already know what we're going to decide. People are going to be moved by your story, and they're going to help you. Because that's what people do. By and large, most people are better than this freaky media, this dirty media will let you believe. It's pretty good people out here. So please do it, because I got a feeling the longer it goes untreated, the more trouble it's going to give you the rest of your life, and you don't need that. But thank you for calling, Leslie. And my email address, timstake2@gmail.com. timstake2@gmail.com. Okay? All right, sister. 586, you're live, Freedom Friday. Damn. How you doing, 586? What's your name? What's your comment? Thinking this Friday. 586. Did you fall asleep, 586? 586. 586. All right. 347. You're live. What's your name? What's your comment? 347. Hello.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Tim. Okay. Let me see. Tim?
Yes.
Tim? 347?
Yeah,
Tim?
that's you. How you doing? Who's this?
Oh, this is Valerie in Brooklyn.
Valerie, what's up, sis?
Okay. I just want to say thank you, enjoying the program this week, this night, your insights. Also want to say how proud I am of the young people that are out there daily for hours on hours protesting, especially the peaceful ones. Okay, but they've been putting in time. They're putting in time. And it makes me suspicious about what they say about their voter turnout, because I still think it was better than it got recounted as.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make a couple other little points. So since I'm in New York, earlier in May, a statistic came out that there was 345 citations for not wearing face masks. And of those 345, you know how many of those people that were given tickets were Black and Puerto Rican or Latino? 304. So you cannot say that the Black community and people of color are not policed differently than the white community. Okay? And just because Bloomberg has left with his racist
90 seconds,
and all those years of racist policies before him changed just because he left a couple of years ago.
Right.
The culture and the policies are still there. You know, the attitude is still there. And New York has been had some spectacular incidents. We've had the police
60 seconds
driving over peaceful protesters, you know, and
I saw that.
Several other things. And de Blasio had nothing to say about that. Now, that happened, I think, 2 days ago. And he didn't mention it in his, you know, his morning little conference speech to the public. A reporter brought it up. Oh, yeah, we're going to look into that. We're going to have internal affairs look into that one. Okay, yeah, we'll see how far that goes. But it was a dangerous situation. They had to leave.
And somebody, I think, tried to say that the car was surrounded. And it's plain clear shot. The helicopter, I believe, was a helicopter shot.
10 seconds.
A business source. It wasn't even a private cell phone. I believe it was a business, and maybe the news, saw it, recorded it. And in fact, those cop cars were not surrounded. And they just plowed into the people. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, people go to Central Park, and you see some white kids on the blanket. The police officer is handing them a mask. So that's how they're treated. Okay. So the psych. Oh, what I thought was really spectacular is that the police tried to they did commandeer one of the public city buses, right, for protesters they wanted to use it as a paddy wagon, and the driver, who is a city employee, I guess he pretty much said, well, yeah, okay, you have the right to commandeer the bus. We see TV, right? We see that happen on TV. But you cannot make me drive the bus. I will not assist. And so he wrote up, the transit union had officially told their union members that they are not to use their position to assist the police in transporting and arresting protesters. That is not their job. It is not their responsibility. Como usted, he got 33,800 officers. You don't need the National Guard. He got so many police officers. We'll use them. Find your own bus driver.
Right.
Okay. And what I also like, a couple other unions have done the same thing, have put out to their employees that they're not to assist the police in arresting the protesters. Okay, it's not their job, it's not their responsibility. But I wanted to say also, you see, this bus driver, another one, drew up some demands. And one of the things, and we've been talking about getting clear demands and whatnot, and he had some beautiful ones. One of them that I had pretty much been thinking about myself was that the hiring of these officers have to change.
Okay.
Because we do get these psych cops. One, the community needs to be involved, and who gets hired, but he also had added who also gets fired and who gets given, and we need subpoena power. We need to have power to review budgets and their priorities for the department. Okay, and of course, the demands was for the rest of all the other officers that were physically involved, not even physically, and the backup guy.
All right,
and
Valerie.
Floyd.
I got to keep it going, Valerie. I appreciate the phone call, though.
All righty.
All right, now. Thank you, Valerie. It's racist, baby. Valerie, come on now, Valerie. She got a lot of stuff to tell us. Call me back Friday. Well, and I'm gonna try to get everybody in here. We got a 491-609 number. I think it's an international call. Hello? Hey, how you doing? That's you.
Oh, I guess that's me.
Yeah, that's you, my friend. How you doing?
Y'all was good, fam.
I'm good, man. What's up?
I've been watching your show. I just want to say big up. I wanted to call to mess with you, but I guess yet now is not a good time. I just, with the whole voting and all that situation, I wanted to call to inspire some people. Now I feel like, like mud because I'm not in the state, right? If people get a chance, if anybody hearing this, if you get 2 cents together, just leave. You don't let them chase you out. I'm just saying, go see somewhere else in the world. It's different. I'm living in Germany. Man, it's crazy. Everybody votes in Germany, just as a Beispiel. I'm talking German. Just as an example, we vote on Sunday. Why? Because everybody home. College is free. Healthcare is universal. Everybody get 30 days paid vacation. Unlimited sick leave. You can get sick. I had a hernia. I had 2 hernias. I stayed out of work 2 years and went right back to my job. Everybody like, you okay? That's it. They ripping you off. Check this out. And I don't want to just rattle on because I know you get 2 years maternity leave per child. And the husband can stay home 1 year of that. Also. So you can just have like 3 kids, be home for 6 years. I'm telling you, take time. If you got 2 cents together, let the people know. Just get out of America and see how it is. They ripping, like my man said, you're being bamboozled. And I don't know. I had a bunch of ideas, but now I ain't got no ideas because everybody's got it's had enough, right? And you don't. It's like my son. I was asking me like, trying to explain it, and I don't know what to tell him because he never had to live through it. There's racism in the world, but on the other, when you get out of America, it ain't against black people. It ain't none of my business. Germans can't stand the Turks. Don't bother me none. I know you ain't supposed to be like that. But I'm just saying, it just doesn't concern me. And it's just nice to get out and breathe. Just breathe out and be like, get in your car, drive past police. Wait, please come over. I got a little shop. Please come over my place all the time. 5 grams, you need to talk about it, but 5 grams of, is everybody, it's not legal, but everybody's allowed to have 5 grams. That's enough. I'm good. Yeah. So I sit here, watch your show. You know what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm saying big up, I'm looking at you, I'm like, I'm proud of you, brother, because, you know what I'm saying? You got your face out there. You know how people is. Yeah. Yeah. Right? And you still putting your face out there. I'm hiding in Germany, drinking beer. No, actually, I don't drink, so whatever. But anyway, I just want to call, say big up. Everybody keep your head up as you can get out. I wish I could bring everybody over here for 5 minutes. Wow. But I can't. So, like I said, big up. Like what you're doing. Keep doing it if you can, if you need a bodyguard, whatever, But keep your head up. Everybody keep your head up. That's only like it is in America. Trust me. Everywhere else is different. You've been bamboozled. You're being bamboozled. Been had. Yo, I'm out, yo.
Thank you,
Peace.
brother. I appreciate you. Peace to you as well. Wow. I love that, man. That's always let it get like an international perspective on things because he's right. We look at things based on what's normal or natural for us, right? So, got me thinking. Let me see if I can find this 207 number. Hold on, 207. There we go. 207, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, not too much. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good. This is Sean. I'm calling from Georgia. One of the things I want to talk about real quick is, everybody be very careful if you don't live in these areas where the protests are going on as far as forming your opinion about who is doing the violence, who's breaking the glass, who's stealing things, just general logic. Cities that have large populations, there are such people known as criminals and frequent offenders, and also young folks who have nothing to fucking do because we canceled school early with no programs, and they're fucking wilding out because their parents are trying to make money. Second point, following that up, please don't believe when they say in the news about outside agitators. Those are just regular American citizens who live in a city who never changed their identification from the state they moved from. That's it. And also be careful, as these things are going on right now. We have economic issues where half the people you know aren't going to have a job. They're not going to have a job. 15% of them aren't going to be able to retrain into a new job just because they're going to be too far behind, or the skills that they want to retrain in aren't going to be necessary. Food prices are skyrocketing. We were already going into a deep recession prior to the virus and prior to these protests. And Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
And I really just wanted to end this because I wanted to ask your opinion on something. You know, I'm somebody who wants to vote in the next upcoming election, but I have one candidate from the Democrat side that I'm pretty sure after they turn the film off, they put him on a gurney or a dolly hooked up to wires and put him back to the cryo machine. And then I have a president who, honestly, I was looking at it like the devil that I know, lesser of two evils. Also, he gave veterans choice, which is something I'm very supportive of. And I was thinking from an economic sense, which are going to be the greater ramifications of what's going on now, that at least he will allow businesses to steal from a system that will allow people to be employed. Okay? But then I watched that 7-minute video that everybody can go watch. You type in on YouTube, Trump Church, go to the C-SPAN video. It's 7 minutes, looks like the Blair Witch Project. And it looked like a third world country. This guy was standing behind a church that was boarded up and graffitied. And I literally was like, oh my God, I can't vote for him either. Tim, who do I vote for? Where do I go? Where's this third candidate? Where's this third person that people who feel like me, who can think and want to start families and can be like, dude, people around me don't have work. And honestly, they've been struggling to get work for months prior to this in certain situations. And debt was piling up. I don't trust none of the people we have right now. Where do I go?
Hey, look, man. Hey, thank you for the phone call, my friend Sean. Hey, look, it's not an easy answer, man. Hey, look, man, I need to raise money for this show. With this answer, if I can answer this, we'd be good, you know? Neither. Look, man, like I'm telling you, man, I'm not I haven't come to grips with it. Today was voting day in Maryland for the primary. You know who I voted for? Bernie Sanders. People are saying check out Howie Hawkins. I haven't really checked him out yet. And no, his people in my comment sections saying smart alecky stuff, that don't help you. It just doesn't. You know, I'm going to check out Howie and, see what he's about at some point. Hopefully, he'll want to raise money and he'll come on. So that's an option. There's probably some other people out there running as well. I haven't gone down the rabbit hole of draft this person, draft that person. I'm not doing that this election. No offense to those that are doing it. I'm not doing that. No one can be drafted to run for anything. And I know it's desperation and all that shit. But, you really believe in your guy. Sort of like, so there you go, man. Like, there's really no good option. Some people I respect say we should bite the bullet and vote for Biden. Some people say we should sit it out and let the Democrats stew in their own juices. I haven't decided what I'm going to do exactly, but I'm not going to advocate for any of that. So, and don't hold your breath waiting for me to do it either, because, yeah. But like I said, that's a good question. Who should you vote for? I know who you should vote for. Down ticket. Vote down ticket. It ain't going to matter anyway. Trump ain't going to take Cali. So what's the point? I should, no, you should vote because you need to go vote down ticket. Okay? But Trump's not going to win L.A. He made sure of that. So California, we already know. Now, swing state people, maybe it's different. That's a different situation, possibly. Possibly. I'm not even sure if it is there. I'm going to move on to 252. You're live. What's your name? What's your comment, 252?
Yeah, am I on?
Yeah, you are. Who's this?
Okay, this is Lenny from North Carolina. Okay, been waiting for a long time.
All right, Lenny. What's up, man? Yeah, what's up, Lenny?
Not much, man. First time ever calling into any type of talk show, so I'm kind of a little anxious here, so bear with me for a minute.
No problem, bro.
All right. I just got 2 words, man. Nancy Pelosi. What in the world is going on with her, man? I'm like, I just don't get it really because, like, with everything that's going on right now, like, why is she, she's just, like, putting on a performance or something right now. I don't really, like, get why she's not, like, no pressure's being put on her or anything. Like, I really don't like it. It's just crazy right now. Like, the day she came out and she was, like, holding the Bible, like, it seemed like she was mocking Trump from what he did the night before or whatever. And it's just like, I'm like, I haven't really heard nothing from anybody saying, like, is she going to put a bill? Because we went through the Russia thing and the impeachment, and I'm just like, what's she going to do, And that's pretty much all I had to say. I just like Nancy Pelosi. She's Democrat. I know she's running the House, and I'm just like, it seemed like, with 5 months go to the election that she would like at least like try to put something out there, like put pressure on the Senate and force a vote on it, because they put us through the impeachment. So that's all I got to say though.
All right, Lenny from North Carolina. Thank you, my brother, and thank you for holding on, man. We got a lot of calls in the queue. Nancy Pelosi is a joke, bruh. You already know that, though. Look, I was looking at what Trump did, and I was like, what an idiot this guy Trump. What is he doing? This is stupid. We don't have time for this. You tear gas people who were peaceful, mind you. Peaceful people were in the streets, but they had to be tear gas to make them all move so he could go across the street and stand outside of a church for a photo op. Planes, helicopters flown close to protesters' heads so he could go do that. And to add insult to injury, Nancy Pelosi imitates it. We need grown-ups. We need adults who want to solve our problems, to make our lives better, to prepare our lives, to prepare those who have lost their jobs, those who with PTSD who need to come home from war, those who are still at war who need to come home, those people who don't have health care, those people who are on the fringes, the people hanging on by a thin, very thin piece of wire. All of the issues that we have in this country, all the things that we need to rectify, that we need to shore up, that we need to do better in. And what do we have? We have a bunch of grown-ass geriatric babies running the country. We have a bunch of what would I call infant seniors running the country, pretending to be adults. And that's not what we need. We don't need them. We need other leadership. So anyway, thank you for the phone call, my friend. They wasted that time with the Russia. Do you know some of them were blaming Russia for protest? What a slap in the face. Yeah. So, like, to them, black folks aren't pissed off enough, frustrated enough, angry enough, distraught enough to protest killing after killing after killing of unarmed black person by cop. But no, Russia has to make us do it. We couldn't have a thought of our own. We couldn't be upset on our own. It had to be Russians. It's just so disrespectful. Meanwhile, they didn't say Russians made white guys go to the state capitol because they couldn't go get their hair done or couldn't go to Denny's or couldn't go fishing. No, that's on their own. See, white people get to choose to do what they want. Black people have to be controlled by Russia. Because we good little servants to the Democratic Party. We would never do anything that wasn't sanctioned by Nancy Pelosi. Pelosi. All right. 214, you're live. What's your name?
And not even we're not the one that's looting. Every video you see out there is of white people doing that shit.
I hear you, man. Who's this?
This is Charles from Dallas. Can you hear me?
I hear you, Charles. Yeah, I heard you. So there are some, Charles. But you know, like those videos are selective, bro. I don't trust them.
No, I feel you there, Mr. Black. I feel you there, and I'm coming at you straight respect from a young black man here in Dallas. I was telling my girl practicing for you, man. I was telling my girl my ideas. But yeah, I wanted to let you know that I actually have a plan. I feel like we can take this to another level if we look at it from the base. You know, let's turn being a cop into a trade. All right, this is my proposal. So basically, in high school, you know, I want to be a cop when I grow up. I want to help serve and protect. So what I want to do is I want to enforce law and ethics. I want these cops to know the law backwards and forwards. I want them to be mini judges. And you know what's crazy? I want it to be universal. So everybody that's taking the same classes as the law as the cops, so that we are all on the same basis. So this next generation is not coming up at a disadvantage when cops are putting them at their belittlement. You know, and they're abusing their power. So, yeah, I think that, you know, we need to focus. If we train them young, the same way they say, get them young, and if we get them young and we say, hey, after you graduate with your law and ethics and you've completed you completed your test that say that I understand that I'm here to serve and protect. I understand that I can do what I need, that I'm here to make sure that people are safe. Then we can move on to like the police academy, but we need to gentrify all the police stations and police academies as well. Because like they said, the police academies and everything else has been infiltrated by white supremacists. So I'm not going to say that every cop is a white supremacist. My dad is a cop. My uncle's a cop. I'm not going to say that they're all white supremacists. But I am going to say that they need to tear down the system because they have never torn down the slave patrol basis of the cops. The cops have always got to keep going and keep going and keep going. I'm 27. I had not seen one change, and since my cousin was killed in '94, when the year after I was born, my cousin was killed in a car in Galveston, just randomly shot by the police. And to this day, that cop gets to walk around free. To this day, when I saw George Floyd, you know what he looked? I thought he was my cousin because I have so many people in Houston. So it really hit me hard, and I started immediately thinking about how can we solve this. But I think that also, once these cops and this new generation come up at the police academy, they need to also go back to the communities where they went to high school, or the communities where they originally, took their law and ethics, basically, so that they can serve in the communities that they came up in. That way, they can be held to a higher count or standard. You act different when you're around people when people hold you, when people can see you, and with as many camera phones that you see around here, you're not going to get away with much, especially in the town where you came up. So I think that you should have to serve 1 to 2 years in the town that you came up in, and then you get to explore the other worlds of policing. But we need to test and make sure that you can hold up around people that you know, because obviously Derek Chauvin knew, what's his name? I'm sorry, not what's his name, Mr. Floyd. I mean, come on. You work with y'all worked at the same place for 17 years. The business owner confirmed it. So I don't see how.
Right.
I don't know. Right. I see a system that I want to break up, that I want to take down from the very, very bottom. It's like you don't want to go out there and riot, but it's like, hey, it's been so long that we've been taking a knee. So long we're taking a march that eventually it's come to a head. And I also think that black people need to arm themselves. ADOS Americans, all Americans need to arm themselves and express their Second Amendment rights. Because everyone that's saying that black people can't have guns in protest is wrong. Because if you look at the Ahmaud Arbery situation, when the NFAC went up there, when the Black Panthers went up there, the cops drove right on by. And so with every protest, I believe there needs to be a armed group of people that are saying that we are here to protect us. We are here to protect citizens. Because guess what? The cops are coming out like the freaking military. And that's not right. That's really not right, man. I can't express how much I want to go out there, but a brother can't really go out there, when it, got tickets and shit. They'll keep my ass. So, Mr. Black, man, I've been listening to you for a long time, man. You remind me of like a good uncle or a good, good figure, man. And you've been out here doing that work, man. You've inspired me to make small videos if I can, and just to get out there and get my word out. But I've been waiting for like an hour and a half to talk to you, and I'm so appreciative of getting in this moment. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Charles, for calling up, man. And, there's a lot of things, different ways to try the policing. They talk about oversight boards, but oversight boards got to have teeth and be able to actually discipline police. And you got the strength of the police unions. So, like you say, I think you're on the right track when you say the entire system needs to be revamped. I don't think that everybody who goes into being a police officer does so. Has an issue like, has a control issue or has a violence issue or anything like that. I mean, I've known people who have become. I tell a story all the time of a guy I met who was a fireman, and he said he wanted to be a cop because he knew some cops. And when you're a public servant, I think it's kind of you deal with EMTs, police officers, cops, kind of all deal with each other off and on. Well, long story short, after being a cop for only like 6 months, he quit. Went right back to being a fireman. He said he couldn't see. He said it was horrible for him. He didn't like the job. He didn't like the atmosphere. He didn't like the culture. This is real person. Me having drinks, just having real conversations with him. So I know he went in it the same way he was being a fireman. He went in it the same guy. So I would never say every person, but it's the culture of the organization. Same thing with politics. Everybody who runs to becomes a politician is not corrupt. It's the culture and the necessity, the way the culture, you either change the system or the system changes you, right? And in that system, some people say they'll off you before you get to change the system. And I know in politics, they'll get rid of you. They'll get your primary. They'll get you gone. They'll throw money at your challenger. Look what they're doing to AOC. Whether you like her or not, they're like, hey, she got to go. So now she got like 20 people. Some of those people well-funded to get her what? Out. So that's just one example. Thank you for the phone call, man. 202, you live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Is that me, Tim?
Yes, it is. How you doing?
Hi, this is Talisha. I'm calling from D.C.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. So I'm a decently long-time listener. Not really. I've been listening for about 6 months. I'm in your wolf pack, and I'm also a Patreon member. I thank you so much for what you're doing. You're giving us a voice, and you're letting us really express what we're feeling. And I'm so heavy right now. I'm a black mother. I'm a veteran. I am married to a black man. I feel like America has declared war on my community, my people, my kids, my family. I'm scared to death. I'm scared for my former troops that he's now talking about sending them to go turn on our own people. And I'm just so appreciative of you because you're letting us have this voice and say what we need to say. And if there's any active duty military listening, you have an option. You do not have to go. You can say that you are a conscientious objector and you will not abide. Go to your legal aid, find out your rights. This is not the end for you. I actually, Tim, if you don't mind, can I give a phone number that the active duty can call?
Sure.
Give me 1 second. My freaking dog is trying to follow me.
No problem at all.
That number is the GI Rights Network. It's 1-877 447-4487. And all other Americans that care about your military members that don't want to do this, because trust and believe, I'm in a lot of vets groups with active duty, and they do not want to do this, please call your Congress people, 202-224-3121. We are not with him. 90% of the military does not have his back. We do not like him. We want him gone. And it's so hard as a Bernie bro to try to convince them that he was the answer, because all they were told by mainstream media is that Joe Biden was the guy, so they're set, and they just want him gone. So it's really hard to get it across to them that even though Joe's not as bad, Joe is bad. But I know my sisters are in harm's way. I'm in a female vets group, and then I'm also in a black vets group, and they can't express themselves. So I'm here to express for them. I'm also here to express for my black community and my black sons, and I fear every time they walk out the door, I may never see them again, because these cops have declared war on them. And I just want every young person to know I'm standing with you. Don't pay attention to the distraction about the looting and all that bullshit. Burn it down. You have to burn it down. You hit them in their pockets, and they will stop this mess. If we putting our black dollars in their stores, that freaking store owner that called the police on a brother for maybe passing a faulty $20 bill, and he is dead now, we're going to stop giving them our money. They don't deserve our money. We're going to put it into our black communities. We're going to put it into communities that really want to stand with us and build. Once we take our money out of their pockets, just like those boycotts back in the 60s, they will realize they need us more than we need them. Our black dollars are important. We are important. And Tim, once again, I thank you so much. Oh, shout out to the white allies, because I know it's a lot of you out there. I'm very disappointed in a lot of my so-called friends who supposedly love me, who hasn't even bare minimum said something on Facebook. But I am proud of the white allies that call in, that are marching, that are putting themselves. I saw a woman lay on top of a black man to keep the police from dragging him away as he's screaming for help. Thank you to the white allies. Keep doing what you do. Tim, please don't stop. I don't care how rough it gets. If I got to up my monthly subscription, don't stop, because you're doing important work. And you keep me going. So thank you.
Thank you, Talisha. I appreciate you, sis. You my homie here in D.C. And just thank you for voicing that. She said, if you're a veteran and you don't want to take part in Trump's BS, you know what to do. You need to call up, say you're a conscientious observer, and you don't have to. Also contact your congressperson, 202-224-3121. Very strong words, and I think it's so needed, Talisha. Thank you so much for calling. And thanks for supporting this show. You know we appreciate you for that. That's how we keep going. So thank you so much, Talisha. 512. I know you guys been hanging on for a while. What's your name? What's your comment, 512?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, Tim. It's Sophia. I don't know if you remember what I was saying the last time I called. I think it was probably a week ago. But anyway,
no,
I was talking about how I was seeing this these hate crimes and violence by racists and the police. I was seeing it escalate and escalate, and I had no idea it could get this bad. I mean, it's really disturbing, to know, I guess, how bad the cops are in your own area, because, I don't know if you heard, but a black woman in Austin was shot in the stomach with a beanbag round. And that didn't really make big news at all. And, another kid was shot in the head in critical condition. And this is in a liberal town. And it's really funny because the mayor is actually a Biden supporter. But on another note, I wanted to let people know about the... Oh, sorry, my phone was messing up. Let them know about the woman I was trying to tell you about, Pamela Turner, who was killed by a police officer in Baytown last year. what's happening with her is, she hasn't gotten justice. Like, they've got to the point where, in this story, I mean, it's so egregious. He was tasing this woman. She was like, she has schizophrenia. And this is actually her neighbor, by the way. And it's kind of hard to relay. It's really emotional. But he tried to arrest her on some, outstanding warrants, and they were nothing serious. I can't remember what exactly it was, but it wasn't anything serious at all. They were trying to use that to slander her, of course. And he started tasing her, and of course, she falls to the ground, and he starts trying to wrestle with her, a woman who he knows is mentally ill. And he gets up, and she is laying on her back. And from a distance, he was up, and she was unarmed. And he shot her multiple times. And this is on camera. It went viral. And you know what's really, really funny? The Blacksmith leadership class, I bitch about them all the time, but like having kept up with her son through all of this, and he's absolutely traumatized right now with what's going on, with these people took advantage of them. This is why we haven't really heard much of it, because everybody who wanted to put their face on TV and take pictures with his family and, just build up their own public reputation and get praised, for example, kind of like what Don Lemon's doing right now.
Yep.
It's so harmful and it's hurtful. Like, this, I don't know, it's just really, I guess, emotional. So, I guess to finish, relaying the testament of her son, how he feels about this whole situation. And I mean, he basically agrees with all of our, and it's just so disturbing. I feel like, even some of these shooting victims' families, they're being intimidated by the Democratic Party not to speak out and say, hey, we don't want the dude who's responsible for this to be our president. We shouldn't have to pick between Donald Trump and Jim Crow Joe. And it's not even Jim Crow Joe. That's actually a very accurate term for him. I mean, the dude called the national, the United Confederate Daughters, I don't know. It sounds very racist, of course. And he condoned them as many fine people. He said, many fine people. And so that, I guess all I wanted to say is that, the shoot him in the leg thing really, really got to her son. I guess that's what I was trying to relay, that this is just really hard. And so I'm going to email you this petition to help pressure the Harris County DA to jump on the ball.
Okay.
But thank you for letting me in. I appreciate it.
All right, Sophia, thank you for the phone call about Pamela Turner. 425, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, this is Jake Michelle. I just got to say that protesting, rioting, and looting will be all for naught if we don't have clear-cut demands. That's one thing the right knows how to do.
You said they don't I'm sorry. Oh, slow down. What did you say? You said the protest is for naught?
It's all for naught. Like, there's no... I mean, it's destined to fail.
It's destined to fail.
If we don't have clear-cut demands, the cops kneeling and marching.
Listen to this guy. Without the protests, we probably would not have Derek Chauvin even arrested. So shut the fuck up. That's something the right Let me guess. You're on the right, right? That's something the right knows about. Really? That's something the right knows about?
Wait, no, I'm not on the right.
Then why are you saying that the right knows how to protest? What makes them better at protesting,
you
brother?
need demands. Look, okay, I'm not on the right. I'm actually a Bernie brother, but
Really?
I see the right. They got their demands met. There's clear demands. If we go there,
What demands?
it's like
What
some
demands? What demands? What demands? What demands? What demands? Slow down.
First of all, we need all the cops across the country to be retrained.
Oh, God, man.
And it needs to be transparent.
What did the right get done?
Man,
what did the right get done? Since you said you keep bringing up the right. So what did the right get done? What demands did they get done via protesting that you can name?
In Michigan, you remember when they stormed the Capitol building with guns? They had demands that were met. I don't know the specific demands, but I know that people were talking about them, and they got their demands met. But anyways, I think the cops kneeling are PRs.
All right, 410, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment? Thanks for calling, Jake. Chill. Hey, 410, how you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on with you, man? This is B, man. Calling from Maryland.
All right.
Yeah, man. This whole can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. My headphones be messing up sometimes, so I gotta check and make sure.
No problem.
But yeah, man. This whole George Floyd situation, man, is bullshit, man. Everybody knows it. You know what I mean? The dude killed him. You know what I mean? His ego, he just wanted to murder somebody. You know what I mean? He looked at that dude and his muscles and felt some type of fucking way. It was like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just crazy, man. But another thing, man, I was watching Ebro from Hot 97.
Right.
Yeah. He had like a town hall with AOC and Al Sharpton, old ass. But he basically said something, right, that I've been talking about for years now, right? He was like, how in the fuck can you call yourself a good cop and you know there are bad people in your force and you do nothing about it? You know what I mean? Like, how in the fuck can you? He was like, just because you go to Harlem and you fucking play hopscotch and shit, and you put the shit on video, don't mean you a good fucking cop. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, if you know that there's a cop on your force, you know what I mean, in your division, bro, and this dude's breaking big law, this dude hurting people, you know what I mean, slamming people on their chins or fucking putting their hands up women's skirts or whatever the fuck dumb shit that they be fucking doing. If you sit there and you just be quiet about it because you scary, you don't want to say nothing, fuck you. Fuck you too. And it ain't just a fuck you to cops like Derek Chauvin and motherfuckers who just shooting unarmed black men or whoever. It's a fuck you to you too, because you pussies. You know what I mean? You tell motherfuckers to snitch. You a professional snitch. You snitch on civilians every goddamn day. But when it comes to another damn cop, you wanna shut the fuck up. Your tail's tucked between your legs. You have a no snitch policy in your own damn department. What type of fucking shit is that, man? You know what I mean? And for you reporters or whoever that's out here talking about, well, these riots, they're going to overshadow the George Floyd's murder. No, the fuck it ain't. Everybody saw that shit. Everybody saw that cop kill him. How in the we going to fucking unsee it now because it's rioting? Man, shut your bitch ass up. Nobody trying to hear that dumb shit. Nobody will unsee what the fuck they saw from George Floyd. That shit's not overshadowing shit. Y'all just want the shit to be overshadowed because y'all don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So stop talking that dumb shit. Nobody want to hear that, man. You know what I mean? And hope Derek Chauvin, hope his bitch ass go to prison. I heard he been trying to commit suicide. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I've been seeing. But nah, fuck that. Don't give him no damn sheets. You know what I mean? Don't give him no damn clothes. Let him sleep in the cell ass naked on no damn sheets. You know what I mean? Nah, let him go to trial. Let him go to prison. You know what I mean? For real. He need to feel what the fuck he done. And I know he gonna get his ass whooped when he get in prison. Now, unless he check in, he go to PC. You know what I mean? Which he'll probably do. You know what I mean? But Tim, man, love you, man. And you know, man, you a warrior out here, man, taking phone calls and all that, man, for real. Not everybody's doing it. Not a lot of people care. You know what I mean? That lets everybody know that you care. You like talking to people. You know what I mean? Like, that's a warrior. You know what I mean? Not anybody can do that shit, bro. Talk to people and get their views and debate sometimes and shit like that. Because a lot of people be getting exposed that way. You know what I mean? But you a champion, Holmes.
Hey, thank
Take
you,
care,
fam.
man.
I appreciate you, homie. Thanks for calling up, man. Got DC and Maryland called up. My man, I think he out of Baltimore. I don't want to take up too much time. I just want to say I agree with like almost everything he said. And yeah, that's not what makes you good. But you know what you'll find out, my brother, you sound like a younger brother, like my little nephew or something. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm old, right? But that's what's wrong with the world. What's wrong with the cops is what's wrong with the world. We got politicians who will shut up and get in line too, because they're more concerned with living well than doing well. They're not all just concerned that they'll get killed. They just say that, you know. They just say, they'll be dead if they tell the truth. Well, yeah, that's possible. Somebody could retaliate on you. But we run the same possibilities telling on somebody on our block. I run the same policy of the same probability of getting killed as a cop just by reporting my neighbor's loud noise ordinance. He being too loud over there. I get shot for that. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we risk by doing what we do in daily life. The bottom line is most cops don't want to say nothing because they're more concerned about their career. And most politicians don't want to do nothing because they're more concerned about their career. And most journalists don't want to write nothing because they're more concerned about their career. And most celebrities don't want to really stand on shit because they're more concerned with their career. So what we really got is a bunch of motherfuckers all more concerned with everything except people, humanity, other people. And that's really the key to it all. But what they don't realize is when you are someone, and I ain't the only one, but I'm one of them, who's more concerned with others than themselves, that is when you become powerful and important, and that's when you can make a change. And if enough of us who care about others more than we care about what we can get, how much money we can have, how big a car can be, how much of a celebrity we can be, how famous we can be, then that's when real change will happen. And it won't happen before that. We need more people like Dr. Cornel West, Senator Nina Turner, who are willing to be less popular, less famous, less rich, and be more effective and do well instead of just live well. Thank you, my brother. 425, you live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, Papa Wolf, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? How
It's
you
Chad
doing?
Here in Seattle.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Yeah, man, just trying to keep hands away from my face and cops away from my place. That's for sure. Man, I tell you what, I was looking at everything this past week, and it was pretty intense. You know, I've been sad, been angry, I've, pretty much, felt that need to stick my head in the sand, like all those common feelings. I'm not going to dare do that. There's like way too much on the line, but I'm just going to tell you guys what I saw. Over this past week, I saw a cop in New York flash some supremacy symbols, and he was laughing about it, just snickering like it was nothing. And then I saw the same thing going on all across these different states out there, with everybody being involved with a militia group. A white supremacy group came out for Fishtown and Philly. These motherfuckers were just walking around with bats, intimidating people. They eventually went across the street and started tearing up the Black Lives Matter sign. They went absolutely insane with the intimidation techniques because they were lined up ready for these protesters to walk off from some of these folks that were lined up looking like a bunch of fucking Darth Vaders in the road. And I saw a whole bunch of people out there getting aimed at the face purposefully by these cops. On MSNBC, they had footage earlier where they were showing these motherfuckers walking down the street trying to do a show of force. And along the way, while they were on live TV, they must not have realized it, must have been caught up in their like sick fantasies of, the fascism in which has been, brought to life here on the streets. But we saw these cops go breaking in the windows right there on live TV. And these anchors aren't even talking about it. They're like, oh, he must have saw something in the car. Nope, no terrorists here. Let's keep moving on. That's not normal. That's pure staging of riots. They got bricks being laid out in L.A. I saw a whole bunch of bricks being laid out fresh just for these scenes that were being planned on. These people are being coaxed into with some of these provocateurs that are out there to go out of their way. Here in Seattle, we had 3 cops trying to break into one of the local shops here. And the guy's so weak he can't do it, but he sure as hell tried over and over and over again. And they're just lollygagging like, you gonna do it, dude? You gonna break the window? I mean, you saw these cops everywhere. They're even taking in Kalamazoo, they took bricks and they wrapped it up in a note that said Black Lives Matter, and they started throwing it through windows just to make people angry at Black Lives Matter. This is all a stage. And I think that if we're going to get past this, we're going to have to be more militant. We're going to have to look at Hong Kong. These folks are brilliant. I mean, they got some weird names for some of these roles, but it's got to be done because they are intent right now with the powers that be. They're going to start surveilling. And here in D.C., I'm not sure if you saw, like, I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole scoop. I was kind of working earlier. I mean, I'm a little emotional right now because it's really upsetting. But when I look at what's going on out there, I see the patterns. I see police enforce intimidation, trying to murder people. The same exact knee that was placed on George Floyd's neck is being employed out there, and their kids are out there making videos right now with the George Floyd challenge is what they're calling it. And they got their friends laying down on the ground and saying like, "Oh, I'm going to use an inflection to indicate that I'm a black person, and let's have a knee being put on my neck and see how long I can take it." It's insane. Of course, I mean, these kids should know better with proper scruples, but we just don't have that in their parents, and you can see it reflected in how these kids behave. This one little girl was eating ice cream, and she was saying, y'all are never going to be, free from the police because you keep acting like you're black. The racism is so entrenched in these people, and they've had 20 years. They've had 20 years with Fox News programming, all these incidents that have popped up along the way, blaming black people for being black. They earned it. Somehow they deserved it. Somehow they look fearsome. Let's take them out before they take us out. All these white privileges. I just ran into it today at the store. This guy just cut in front of me in line. I wasn't having it. I was like, no, you must be confused, man. His white privilege was so entrenched. He tried to start touching me. And I was like, motherfucker, if you come anywhere near me, I'm going to donkey kick you into next week. I'm not letting you touch me. Get the fuck away from me. You cut in line. Go ahead, motherfucker. And he happily did so. And he knows that what we fear was COVID-19. The guy's not even wearing a mask. I'm like, you dirty motherfucker, get away from me. It's not worth it. You cut in line. That's fine. Ain't no big deal. But it's everywhere, right? It's on the police force. It's on the streets. These people are being murdered left and right. And it's like Tulsa all over again. It's like Selma everywhere. And I think the militancy that comes away from Hong Kong is the only way through this because these people are psychopaths and they're doing wiretapping right now. There was an invasion in D.C. with Raoul, who lived in Logan Circle. He let all these protesters in when they got corralled into the street in Logan Circle. I'm not sure if you saw that or not.
I did.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, like the gassing, the the intimidation, these people are fascists. There is no longer police. There's no longer a government. This is an authoritarian regime, and I think we need to start treating it that way. You have a great rest of your show, man.
All right, brother. Thank you for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. Wow. I would comment, man, but I just want to make sure we get as many people in as possible. It's been a long night. 662. 662, you're live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey Tim, how you doing? This Aaron again, man.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I was doing good. I've been watching this live and watching people marching and stuff, and I just been, kind of proud. But then I flipped on the TV this morning and I seen Gail King, and I just don't know what to say about these two women, her and Oprah. They act like the comb always went through their head. I mean, at one time, you had a metal comb with some heat on it and some black magic before it went through your head, and you just don't forget. Because Gail King came on this morning talking about this black lady getting on to these two white girls who spray painting Black Lives Matter, and that was her talk of the day. And that lasted 30 seconds. She was talking about that. When she spent 15 minutes showing black people breaking into stores and stuff. And I've been watching this all weekend, live from different news stations and different people, and your boy Bob, and they were showing how it was white people, Mexican people, I seen Asian people breaking in stores, but all I see is black faces on there. 15 minutes, you've been showing that. 15 minutes, you've been showing that, and you know what you're doing? You're sitting there, you putting white supremacy, you are showing like propaganda, because you spending 30 minutes praising police officers, and you spending 15 minutes showing black faces breaking into places, and you talking about a movement. So you know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Because you got people. I got people that was texting me today talking about, I'm so sorry about saying all lives matter. All lives matter. I apologize, Aaron. But then in a month after watching you and listening to your propaganda, they gonna start seeing again that black people are criminals and police are the ones that's the righteous ones. Why you don't show? You got more footage of black people on their knees getting whooped by police officers, and you're not showing that. Why are you not showing that? So at the end of the day, you going home thinking that you did something for black people, when really you just doing propaganda that I got to sit here in Mississippi, and people going to look at that and think, hey, black people breaking into these places, and it's white people marching with them, but the black people is the ones that's doing all the looting, and that's not even true. That's not even true. So it's hard to think about how are you doing. I'm not talking about CNN and everybody else, because you black, and you don't forget where you came from. Oprah don't forget where they came from, and you not helping the situation, because you talking about Black Lives Matter. We marching for a reason, and you sitting here subliminally putting stuff in people's minds that we are still criminals. You putting it in their minds that we are still criminals. And we got a guy that want to put the army on us, and we got another guy that's supposed to be on the other side talking about shooting us in the hip, and we're hurt so bad that you got people in the background saying amen. So you know what I'm saying? I'm really hurt, because it's a movement, but you got your platform to where you supposed to be helping us with that movie. Show that people are being beat out here with their hands up on their knees. You won't show that, but you'll show a little clip about somebody straightening out two white women, but then you'll show your whole show was about black people. And I've been seeing white people breaking stuff. I've been seeing Hispanic breaking this stuff. I've been seeing black people breaking this stuff. I've been seeing all kind of colors breaking and stuff. Right. But what I'm seeing on TV when you show it, it's only us that's breaking into stuff. I mean, how much money do it take for you to lose your blackness? Because I just don't understand what's going on. Dude talking about shooting us in the leg. And I know somebody that got shot in the leg and died.
Yeah.
Got shot in the artery. So why you just won't? It's just hard, Tim. I love you, man. I love all of y'all. It's just real hard what they doing to Thank
you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Wow. I just want to say one more time that I have the best callers in the business. Is the reason why they keep calling this show. And there's a reason why it's going to continue to grow. Because our callers speak from the heart. And that's gonna yeah, man, I wish I could answer that question in a way that would I'll just tell you this. People do what they do because it's in their best interest. And it's unfortunate, you know. But I'm a proud black man who believes in certain things, and I have children, and I have love in my life, and I believe in a higher call and a higher purpose than just stuff. So, young man, I don't know what makes them move like they do exactly. I just have my thoughts on it. I know why I do what I do and why I will report it straight. I'm not looking to get a job shitting on black people. That's the most popular job for black people. You know that? I mean, besides, like, you know, some other jobs. That's a very popular job right about now. At least in media, it's a very popular job. If you look at, hey, look, man, I'm gassed out. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you all for calling the show tonight. I appreciate you. We will continue to report to the best of our ability what's important and continue to make it honest and real and true. And if it makes people uncomfortable, so be it. Sometimes you got to be uncomfortable. And just keep coming back, young man. Keep coming back here. That's it, guys. Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. Tim Black at Night for Instagram. I'm trying to up my posting on Instagram. Do a little bit better job there. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be having a conversation with Killer Mike. I know Killer Mike recently made the news with a plea to protesters about Atlanta and what Atlanta means and what they need to preserve in Atlanta. We're going to have that conversation about what was going through Mike's mind, Mr. Render's mind when he was making those comments, because he's gotten some pushback on it. And sort of just, kind of get his thoughts on the way forward. We got so much to talk about. And his new album that he's releasing, and I think it's in the name of the protesters and George Floyd. So anyway, I look forward to that tomorrow at 5 p.m. Wherever you're seeing this now is where you'll be able to see that broadcast tomorrow. All right. That's it, guys. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Let me now go check the comments section. Wow, what a night, right? You guys keep me going. YouTube let us reach a few people tonight. YouTube, boy, I tell you. I'm sure a lot of people are on Facebook as well. Roger Meadows. Oh, let me go to the top. Oh, it's just me. Thank you, Mr. Blackwood. Thank you. Ramal, Fear the Black Planet, 911 is a joke. Ain't it, though? We knew that coming up, didn't we? 911 is a joke in your town. Hey, sure, Biden wants us to focus on problems he caused. Thank you. Dragonic says, MLK once said, rise to the voices of the unheard. And that quote is more relevant now than ever at this point in time. If a revolution happens, then the leadership has failed. Roger Meadows, racial rep not as important as issue representation. Oh, racial representation not as important as issue representation. Hey, Tim, Friday you said you was getting a new router. What type of router did you get, Tim? Cisco, Juniper? I got a router. It's a I don't know if I want to tell people because some people say, Tim, the problems that you're having may be caused by outside influences. So we're not only getting a router, we got VPN and we got some other stuff to put in place. But believe me, it ain't a cheap router. Sheldon Hughes, great call, Eric. Yes, it was. Tanya A, thank you, Tanya. New member, Sam Smith. Welcome to the Wolfpack, Sam. GDMPB, PB. In the video, you can hear you are killing him. So when he chose not to change what he was doing, it becomes a premeditated, first or at least a second-degree murder because he went right on doing it. Officially part of the Wolfpack, Justice for Floyd. You got it, Sam, and you are. Oopsie, what's up? New NBW Doughboy. Anybody know of a place where the police don't have guns, they have free healthcare, they have legal weed? I got to get out of here, Tim. This is ridiculous. Robert Abrams says, I was wondering if you saw the video of the guy shooting arrows at the protest. I saw that. Don't you love how this guy got out his car to shoot arrows indiscriminately at protesters, was stopped and his ass kicked. Now, shooting a bow and arrow is like attempted murder if you shoot a bow and arrow. I mean, a bow and arrow was used to kill stuff. Come on. So I saw that the reporters were interviewing him afterwards. He left out that he was trying to shoot a bow and arrow. He just said how they jumped on him because he said, all lives matter. It's interesting how they truncate the storyline. You know, they modify the story in order to play victim. Even a guy who's out to kill some people. But I might do a video on it. Debbie Howard says, white dude spitting in the cop's face in Minnesota was from California. He's a professional instigator, says Debbie, so do believe the hype. Wow. Robert says Trump sees young people as terrorists. This is why we shouldn't be so loose with the word terrorist. People now realizing that whatever we do across seas, it can happen here. Robert says Space Force may be the elite's getaway after they rob us and this planet. Sarah Keith, got my notes ready Friday. Killer Mike and Nina. Yeah. So tomorrow, Killer Mike. Thursday, I'll be on Nina's show. Robert Abrams says, last one, Tim, like I promised, did you hear about the barbecue man who served food for free in this community? Yeah, I heard about that. My understanding is that they fired that police officer. They fired the chief, right? Because the police officers did not have body cameras turned on, right? And that the barbecue man was a very popular. He used to give free food to the police. And that's who shot him, police. Princess Queen, what's up, sis? Bro, Adrian, I saw White setting their businesses on fire because of the losses from the coronavirus. It's happening all over. What? Oprah don't care about us. Well, you know, if businesses are setting their businesses, if business owners are setting their own businesses on fire because of the coronavirus and the lack of sales, and I think that would be a perfect indictment of how the stimulus checks, how the stimulus money and has been allocated. So if you got a business owner who obviously feels they got to resort to burning down their own ish in order to have ish, in order to stay, you know, to avoid bankruptcy or being destitute. If you if you got a business and you have to do that, then that shows how bad off our government is and how totally lopsided. And we already knew it was, but this just compounds it. This just reinforces it. I just want some proof of that. I would love to do a story on that. I would love. In fact, I'm going to look into that, and I want to cover that. In fact, that's perfect. I'm gonna bring that up with Killer Mike tomorrow. So I want to thank you, Princess Queen. You always give to the show late and make a late comment, but I appreciate you so much on this one because that's a great, great topic. And you damn right Oprah don't care about us. I don't think she cared about us ever. If you go back to the 90s, I forgot who it was, Yvette Carnell. You know, Yvette Carnell covered it, I think it was Oprah in the 90s. And the kind of shows Oprah used to do in the 90s. Please go check the receipts on Oprah Winfrey. We need to stop looking at people saying, oh, they black, they successful, they're great. Now, some people are black and successful because they dumped on you for 20 years. Go watch some of the shows Oprah used to do in the 90s. These are shows Bill O'Reilly did in the 2010s. Some of the shows and the topics and the way she presented black folks in the 90s are what Bill O'Reilly was doing in the 2000s. Look closely at the topics. Black people need to do better. Black people did it all wrong. Why can't black people focus? Why do black people have kids out of wedlock? Why black people? Like her whole resume was dumping on black folks. Marianne Williamson's more black than Oprah. But see, when you're not looking for a job from Oprah, you can say that about Oprah. Because it's true. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Wolfpack, Johnsons, all the Johnsons, thank you for tuning in. Facebook, please share this on Facebook. Come back to the channel, YouTube, watch some videos. Join the Wolfpack. Like I tell everyone, if you're tired of watching news that leaves you more confused after you watch it than you were before you watched it, if you feel less informed, if you feel more in the dark after watching cable news, you need to watch the Tim Black Show. We tell it to you straight. We don't follow any of that BS. If that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place. Become a member of the Wolfpack today and join the community and get information that you're not going to get watching cable news. That's it. Man, it is late, ain't it? I tell you, man. Truth Can't Be Silenced is in the house. Dave, what's up, man? I'm gone too, man. Dave, I can't see your comment. Support independent media. All right, Dave. Good to see you. Glad you're okay. You're well, you know? Shout out to Mama Alaska. It's weird. Rev Marie said, Tim, what happened to Mama Alaska? I'm like, she got my email, and her kids have my email too. They'll let me know. And no one's let me know. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Be safe. Peace. Tim Black Show is live streamed in front of a live internet audience. Become a member of the Wolfpack today. Go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. Do that. Be safe. By popular demand, Johnson is here. I have new Johnson designs in my shop. If you want to pick them up, check them out. They are hilarious. Oh, Johnson. You're going to love them, man. Check them out. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's one of my favorites. Independent media only, Johnson. Keep it real. We are all Johnson. We are. We're one big community, guys. Go check it out. Independent media only. Johnson's in the house. Both parties suck, Johnson. We are here. They got a special going on right now. Free shipping. Get it today. Wolfpack.